You can't break me or erase me. I'm not alone, I've got all my friends. They inspire me to be young and free. Now I'm strong, there's no stopping me. But follow me, follow me, but follow me. I'll take you to a place that you would rather be. Follow me, you would rather be. Follow me tonight. You only live once, baby, that's tonight. That's tonight. Wanna feel alive. We're on top of the world. You only live once, baby, that's tonight. That's tonight. Wanna feel alive, baby, that's tonight. We are forever young. Too young to be crying over you. We've been here before, stuck in this groove. Say goodbye, 'cause we've got nothing to prove. Since you left, I live my life like I've nothing to lose. Follow me, but follow me. I'll take you to a place that you would rather be. Follow me, you would rather be. For tonight, you only live once, baby, that's tonight. That's tonight. Wanna feel alive. We're on top of the world. You only live once, baby, that's tonight. That's tonight. Wanna feel alive, baby, that's tonight. We are forever young. Look into my eyes and you can follow me. I'll take you to a place that you would rather be. Follow me, you would rather be. Tonight, you only live once, baby, that's tonight. That's tonight. Wanna feel alive. We're on top of the world. You only live once, baby, that's tonight. That's tonight. Wanna feel alive, baby, that's tonight. We are forever young, baby, that's tonight. That's tonight. Wanna feel alive. We're on top of the world. You only live once, baby, that's tonight. That's tonight. Wanna feel alive, baby, that's tonight. We are forever young. keep myself in the dark, shadows watching over me, over me. You flicked the switch, made a spark. From then on I wore my heart upon my sleeve. With you I bear all the scars. I was left with paper skin. You let me in a different home, broken start. Baby, where do I begin? I begin. Rising up, we touch the sky. Won't be promising that I won't ever let you fall. We could build a mountain stories high if we played a game, just you and I. Whoa, like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, when it all comes crashing to the ground, we can start again and work it out. Like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, you found me after the fire, like a diamond in the rough. We're strong enough, raising the bets, pushing higher, risking everything for us. It's all for us. Rising up, we touch the sky. Won't be promising that I won't ever let you fall. We could build a mountain stories high if we played a game, just you and I. Whoa, like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, when it all comes crashing to the ground, we can start again and work it out. Like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey,
Keep rising up just to fall down. Keep rising up just to fall down. Keep rising up just to fall down.
we could build a mountain stories high if we played a game, just you and I. Whoa, like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey, when it all comes crashing to the ground, we can start again and work it out. Like a house of cards, house of cards. Hey,
Hello once again and welcome to EPT Retro. Time for more old school poker with contemporary commentary. I am James Hartigan, joined as ever by Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies. James, I did something a little, it's probably unethical by Twitch standards. There's like 400 people watching the Run It Up 247 channel. I just popped in there. I was like, hey, if you guys like old poker, why don't you come on over to the PokerStars channel, and we got some new old poker for you.
That's a really good idea, because if you want to watch old poker shows, why not get a slightly different perspective, right, and get to hang out with us and chat in real time? Joe, I salute you. That is a really, really good idea, and I can't believe we didn't do it during the 12 weeks that we streamed seasons 1 through 6 of the European Poker Tour. It's a bit late now.
What's up? Welcome, guys. It's kind of a no-brainer. Like, if you're enjoying what you're watching now, check out this.
Very, very good point. Yeah, I'd also say, by the way, that you can double screen. You can have John King standing by his magic wall. You can get real-time updates from the real world while we take you back to 2011. We entered that year last night with the PCA in the Bahamas. Tonight we're back on the European soil for the second half of Season 7 of the European Poker Tour. And Joe, I didn't realize until I went down this list just how many events there were in Season 7. I forget that I think it was 7, 8, 9 where the tour really just grew and there were like 14 or 15 stops. And of course, it was impossible to televise and live stream every single one. So, for example, Deauville, which came straight after the PCA, no cameras present for that. That was the event where Lucien Cohen won his EPT title. He's the guy with the rat. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, I've got good news for you because he's in these TV shows from Berlin. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Interestingly, the runner-up in EPT Deauville, Martin Jakobsen, and you might remember me saying a few nights ago that Martin was the runner-up to Toby Lewis in Villamora. So that is 2 second-place finishes this season for Martin, and he was never seen or heard from again. Copenhagen, there was a live stream from Copenhagen in February. I know because I hosted it. Michael Tereniak was the winner there. You might remember if you watched EPT Retro back in the summer, Michael was the runner-up in London in Season 5. So he's got a second and a first on the tour. Snowfest was taken down by Vladimir Geschkenbein, and that brings us to Berlin. And April of 2011, a month that's probably famous in the poker world for something else, and we will get to that later on tonight. But this event took place from the 5th to the 10th of April. Now, Joe, you went to Berlin a couple of years. I think you covered Berlin in 2012 and 2013. Of course, we showed the very first EPT Berlin, scene of the robbery, from 2010. This was the only year where the actual tournament took place inside the casino, inside the Spielbank Berlin. So it looks a little bit different to the other Berlins that you may have seen. Have to say, not an easy environment to work in. Very nice casino, but like many casinos, not built for a multi-table, multi-day event, which also requires a TV set and roaming cameras. It was squished.
I'm also guessing that security may have been a little tight this year as well. There might have been a little extra hassle coming and going. Just a guess on my part.
Yeah, I think that's a solid guess. So we are going to pick up the action on day 2 of EPT 7 Berlin. 987 entries. Berlin, one of the most popular stops on the tour at this point. Close to 1,000 players. A 5k buy-in. So a prize pool of nearly 5 million euros, 4.78 million in fact. A first prize of, sorry, I've got my numbers wrong. This is 773 entries this year. That's a prize pool of 3.8 million euros, 120 players due to get paid, and a first prize of 825,000 euros. But a big field to still cut through. Not entirely sure how many players are still in at the point we join the action, but I know that we're not in the money yet. Blind 600, 1200, and on the first feature table is one of our former champions. It's the guy who won Prague in Season 7, Roberto Romanello. We saw him make a deep run in Barcelona just the other night. He's back on the main stage, and there is another EPT champion on the feature table for this tournament. It's the guy with the rat.
So where is everybody from on this table?
I live in Germany.
Live in Germany. Born in Russia. I'm from Wales. And you?
Where are the Swedes at the table? That's all we need to know.
It's like, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Not a noise a rat makes.
Apparently, the rat's name is Lucky. The player we saw in between Romanello and Cohen is Matt Affleck, who many people saw lose in horrible fashion in the 2010 World Series when his aces were cracked.
Yeah. Very nice fellow, Matt Affleck. Still bothers me to even think about that clip, to be honest.
Need to watch your cards, yeah?
Okay.
So 350 remaining from the 773 who started.
These two are going to make quite the double act, aren't they?
Ace-Jack for Roberto.
Can't believe Roberto had a sponsorship from Red Tape just from winning Prague.
Well, this
So much
was
money in poker back then.
still in the era where one win was enough for numerous sponsorship deals.
Oh, here we go.
Yes, Johnny, I can confirm that Matt Affleck is Ben Affleck's cousin. That is a hashtag fake fact.
Whenever my mother is trying to refer to either Matt Damon or Ben Affleck, she refers to them as Matt Affleck.
That's very confusing.
Is this guy's name really Thorarensen? There's like an extra syllable in there.
It is indeed, and we have gone three-way to the flop. It's top pair versus second pair. And 9-7. Okay, well, the spade draw now for Marcus Gruer.
Dude, I swear I was this close to saying I like 9-7 here.
Roberto's going to get some chips in on the turn. That is a bet of 3,600.
This guy looks like someone who would have stuffed me in a locker in high school.
Greva calls, and Thorarensen folds his pair of tens, heads up to the river, which is not a spade. It's trip aces for Roberto Romanello, courtesy of Barry Greenstein.
Oh, and Romanello checks it. What's this guy's name? Greva? Oh,
Yeah.
He's going to feel compelled to bluff the misdraw.
A splashy bet of 6,100.
Man, life's just so easy for some people, huh?
And look at Roberto, check raising to 16-1, gets the fold.
Oh, dude's furious. Furious. Hope there's no lockers around. Roberto's just thin enough to fit.
So out in the field, there's another former EPT champion, Sebastian Ruthenberg, winner in Barcelona in Season 5. And there's Tobias Reinkemeyer, who won the higher roller in Monte Carlo at the tail end of Season 6. There's another German champion, Sandra Neuox.
You know what's weird is her last name is No Jokes, but she actually is quite funny.
She's been shoved on by Ilan Bujnar. And she calls all in and is off to the races, flipping with ace-king against the Snowmen's. Num-num.
Like Scream 4 versus Fast 5. One of the that's not a race.
Not looking good for Sandra. No ace or king on the river. She is eliminated during the first level of day 2 of EPT Berlin, Season 7, spring of 2011. Fatima de Melo is here off the back of a 56th place finish at Snowfest. And we have multi-way action here. This event marked Peter Eastgate's return to poker after an 18-month hiatus.
That's cool. Yes, legitimized, like chocolate versus vanilla. That's a perfect race analogy. That was one of the originals. Well done.
Even if you even still on the hand.
Roberto is the table chip leader. Lucien Cohen is the short stack, but he does have a rat.
You never know. I'll know in a few months.
It's going to be on TV, you'll see.
So Greva has opened with 10-9.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of opening this early with 10-9.
Oh, Lucien Cohen actually has 2 rats in addition to 2 queens. There's the little rat on the table, which I'm assuming is a card protector, and then there's the big rat that he does weird stuff with.
James, there's never just one rat. You know that. When you see one, there's always more. Is he an exterminator by trade? Is that his thing?
I think you're right. I believe that's his backstory.
Look the man. No to pay. All in Uno.
Oh. I still haven't figured out if I like this shtick or not, but he got Greva to laugh. So at the moment, I'm for it. This is the guy I'm very opinionated in general, and it's been 10 years that I've worked in poker, and I still don't know if I like this shtick or not.
1 if you like it, 2 if you don't. Vote now.
Yeah, good. Oh, I get called this guy's last name online all the time.
Kook has opened under the gun with Ace King because Joe is an excellent chef. That's why he earns that moniker. Queens again for Cohen.
Call.
Just flats this time.
Asifa wants to know, he says, Stapes, there's a rat in the kitchen. What are you going to do? I'm going to put him in my hair and let him cook for me.
I remember that song. There's a rat. I shouldn't sing it, should I? Otherwise we'll get a copyright strike.
I mean, it's not like Disney ever really... Or was that not Disney?
It's not Disney, no. So Greva in as well from the big blind. 3-way to the flop. That flop is King 4-5. So we've got top pair for Cook. We've got the flush draw for Greva. Cohen actually now with the worst hand.
Maybe the third worst hand if we see a club peel off.
And Simon Cook will continue for 3,500. Cohen calls. Greva in as well. 3-way as we go to the turn.
He's like, what? Come on, I have ace king. Are you serious? 2 calls?
Well, now
I want to say it doesn't get much safer than that, but you know, 6-7 is the possibility out of the big blind. Still fairly safe though.
second barrel, 9,500. And the fold from the queens. Greva still chasing the flush, also has an inside straight draw. Raises. And Cook looks so uncomfortable. He's looked miserable throughout this hand.
Yeah, I mean, you do feel pretty miserable in this spot with ace king. I like that he hasn't been chased away just yet. Yes, there's a few ways you can be beat here.
Oh, there's the queen on the river. Okay, yeah, not during the hand, Cohen.
We don't care.
Greva having check raise turn. Now leads river for 32,100. This is a classic cycle spot.
I mean, we know he did this not long ago when he missed his draw.
Oh, gets the best hand to fold.
I can relate to everyone in this hand.
Joe can often be found sitting at the poker table with plastic animals.
Oh, not him, sorry. Just the person who feels they have to fold ace king that ace king got sucked out on, and the person who didn't make their draw and made what should have been a bluff that got snapped off immediately.
So blinds are now 800, 1,600. 285 players remaining. A reminder that 120 get paid, and I believe they are playing into the money this day. And all in from the rat guy, Lucien Cohen, EPT 7 Deauville champion, shoves with kings.
How much is it?
I don't know, buddy. I don't know if you really need to ask with king 8 suited. Maybe he has queen 10.
Is Anton Thorarinsson seriously considering making this call? Yes. Does call.
Hell yeah.
Well, great spot for Cohen. 9-1 favorite to get a double up.
Yeah. It's going to make his bust out even more painful.
Oh, there is an 8 on the flop.
No red.
Look at these ace magnets.
Cohen just has to fade an 8 on the river.
Come on, 8 more. Ah.
Thorarinsson should be asking for a message in a bottle.
Maman chérie, Phoenix, Phoenix, Phoenix. Phoenix. Phoenix, man. Oh. Oh. Le Phoenix, il revient, messieurs. Attention.
Now, we know, having watched those Barcelona shows, that Roberto loves a lot of banter at the table. He doesn't seem to have much time for Lucien Cohen.
Yeah, well, you know, there's only room for one star.
So we've got three-way action at this outer table. Peter Eastgate, Daniel Pidun, and Ruslan Priodek. Peter Eastgate bets the river and gets 2 folds.
I've always liked Peter Eastgate. Probably because he says almost nothing. It's hard to dislike a person who doesn't give you a reason to.
This is Sebastian Ruthenberg against Dieter Weigel. And Ruthenberg is facing a raise on the river.
Trying the old ace-high bluff.
Doesn't work,
Ace
though.
of club. Nope.
King high flush, Ruthenberg calls and wins that pot. So where do things stand right now on day 2 of the EPT 7 Berlin main event? Ruthenberg with 246,000. Is he one of the chip daddies? He is. 3rd in chips overall behind Thomas Bichon and Nima Arari. Rupert Elder in the top 10.
Arari.
260 players remaining.
I kind of like how dark it is out in the field. It's very European feeling.
It's very hard to light an event inside a casino.
Yeah. Well, American casinos are all very like bright. They want to keep you awake. They want to keep you energized and happy. In Europe, everyone's just like, ugh.
Lucien Cohen has opened with 10-9 off. Sasha Seattle with the sailboats, pocket 4s, flats. Ace. I didn't see the other card there, but clearly it wasn't very good. Matt Affleck has folded. It's round 2, Greva with ace 9.
Wow, all right.
Heads up to the flop, and it is a set of 4s for Seattle.
Something I cannot relate to.
Looks like he's going to listen to the Stapleton advice and always bet his set.
Oh, snap called with
Can you
10 high.
Explain to me why Lucien Cohen is calling here.
That's a real snap call.
Aha, we all saw it. Well, who knew he was going to turn one of the juiciest cards in the deck for him?
Yeah, picks up the gut shot and the diamond draw and decides to move all in. Gonna get called.
Yeah.
Does have 25%, but
Oh merde, j'ai pas vu sur la lumière, je crois couleur. serai couleur. Ouais. Flush,
But
no
I had to
flush.
call anyway because I got
No
a
flush. No flush. Because I am the flush.
Is it an excuse or do you want to push me on? Because I commit
No,
myself.
mais no, it's no problem, no problem.
Come on, a black one.
Safe river. And Lucien Cohen is eliminated. Was he somehow saying that Sertle should have folded there because there was a flush on board?
Because
I don't-
look, fort, je me suis trompé, je croyais carreau.
I think he was lamenting more than
Ah, il faut-
critiquing.
J'ai vu 2 carreaux, quel con alors. Mais quel con je suis, j'ai 2 carreaux dans la main.
I still think it was a little excuse.
Lucky
because he
Lucy.
got a flush drawn. He might thought he can kick me out because he might thought like I got AK or ace queen. Or
Ok,
something.
thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Au revoir.
Ah,
Should
another
exterminated for Lucien Cohen.
another theory from Oxbridge. Maybe Cohen misread his hand and thought he had 10-9 of diamonds. Maybe he thought he had the
Maybe.
flush.
Starting to feel a little bit better now.
Maybe. I'll allow it.
Like 5-6 or something.
Kramer. Virgin Elaine.
And George Danza.
Oh, there is George. Hold me closer, tiny Danzer.
I think this is a change in feature table.
Yep. Yeah, these are mostly different people. James, we let you know there was going to be a change of table as per my Linda.
Also, clearly that table was solely picked for Lucien Cohen, and once he went bust, once you lost the plastic rat, you got to change things up.
Hey guys, we just make a quick announcement. The guy with the rat's out. Does anyone else have any rubber toys at their table or antics?
We
We're just looking to
Totally do
make,
that.
make some TV shows. If anyone's to act like an
Oh.
a-hole.
Oh, look at this. Top pair versus set threes.
You know, James, it's hard to make a pair, but it's even harder to make a pair Linda.
Sigh.
This is such good stuff you're getting right now. Unbelievable. Wasting it on only 10,000 of you.
Full house now for Ruthenberg. And a bet of 16,200.
That's why I said threes are the most dangerous set. Real hard to see them.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
Ace on the river. Perlinda may think he's just improved. I mean, strictly speaking, he has, but it's not good enough to beat Ruthenberg's boat. 33,000 and a call. Ruthenberg's going to win a huge pot for this stage of the tournament. 128,000 in the middle there. Well, heading out into the field there is Roberto Romanello, who was formerly on the feature table, as was Matt Affleck, who finds himself all in with ace-deuce, only to run into the ace-queen of Alexander Herring.
Affleck. A duck versus a fish.
Oh, I thought that was a queen on the flop. I thought that was the flop there, and I saw the queen.
Flop yet to be dealt.
Vamos!
Could be worse.
Oh, yeah, it could be worse.
7.
That's good, isn't it?
No, it actually takes away some outs. Needs a
Oh,
3
yeah,
now.
you're right.
Good again.
So Matt Affleck eliminated.
He needed a different big card. How embarrassing. Knocked out by a fish.
There is Joe's favorite EPT champion.
Ken Lundmark. I was thinking that we should make a currency, an EPT currency based on Kent, and it would be called the Lundmark, and that's how we pay people out.
Fatima De Melo all in and flipping with ace-queen against the tens of Nick Eunice.
That's a good start.
Ace on the flop. That's a double up for Fatima.
It's amazing that Fatima hasn't changed a bit, and by that I mean hasn't gotten a lick better at poker. Just kidding.
Nearly 132K. Back to our new feature table with 150 players remaining.
I guess they picked this one because of Sebastian Rutenberg.
I guess probably. I imagine that what happened with Roberto's table is that it was going to break soon. It seems that we are cutting through this field very, very quickly. Oh, not just Sebastian Rutenberg. JMP. Juan Manuel Pastor is on the main stage.
Now, here's a little behind the scenes of when I first started working on the tour. And no offense to Juan, because I'm sure he's a hell of a guy. I got so sick of doing commentary on Juan Manuel Pastor because there were a whole bunch of tournaments that happened where he was the only team pro left in the field. He outlasted all the other team pros, like 8 events in a row. And I'm like, I'm so sick of this guy. I have nothing to say about him.
Well, this is Rutenberg versus Darren Kramer.
Cosmo Kramer.
Kramer with the flush draw leads for 7,200. Rutenberg with king high. Raises.
Huh. He's raising one of the hands that's least likely to fold. And on the button, not really sure what value hands he can really rep. 8s, I guess.
Yeah, this
8,
is
6s, and deuces.
not just a flush draw. This is a straight flush draw.
Yeah.
And
I guess you can rep some overpairs too, and I don't think overpairs are really going to raise and chase away their action.
Kramer has re-raised.
I do like the re-raise here.
But I give you credit.
For low set. I was happy to get 300,000 of this, I'll tell you that. With the absolute greatest of pleasure.
Is that a Jamaican flag, by the way?
No.
I believe he's from South Africa.
South Africa. Nice one, American.
Well, Kramer is the chip leader at this table, just ahead of Rutenberg. George Danza third in chips. I mean, if you've got Rutenberg, Danza, and JMP all at the same table, that's obviously going to be on the main stage.
Yeah.
And on this hand, we are going to sweat with Sebastian. We're going to play a hand from Rutenberg's perspective. Let's see what he's got. Ace-10.
Raise. Let's raise. Can't believe the kid from Stranger Things played this event. Does he have that reverse aging disease?
Is Felix Schulze, who defends in the big blind.
Billy.
Ace 9-6, top pair for Rutenberg.
Glorious. C-bet, take it down. C-bet like 4,500, 5,000.
5,800.
Sure, fine. You can go a little on the big side here, right? Your opponent's going to have like a lot of 7, 8s. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I don't love it, but I think Our image is that we're going to see bet all ace-high boards, including our queen tens, our king jacks, king queens, yada yada. We got to call one. It's entirely possible we're up against ace nine, ace six, 9-6 suited. I think is a possibility.
And now we get another 9 on the turn. Schultz leads for 16K.
I don't like it. I don't like it. It's so small, though. I guess we're compelled to call, and maybe we boat up. But if there's any significant value attempted on the river, I'm going to ditch this. And I know maybe that's a little exploitable. But I think that Schultz could even raise a 9, like just get out of line with a 9 on the flop sometimes. 32.5. Yeah, I think this is just a fold.
32,500. You're kind of hoping to get the check from Schultz, get cheap showdown, but nope.
7-8 is like a bluff that missed. But I don't see, I mean, that's it, right? Like, there aren't a lot of other semi-bluff raises. Rutenberg calls. Let's see how wrong I was. Nope,
Schultz
he's just gonna muck.
has 7-3.
I'm so bad. I'm so bad.
Solid read by Sebastian Ruthenberg. Makes the call on the river there and wins another huge pot, putting him over the 400K mark.
Can I make some excuses for myself there? I don't have the benefit of having played with that guy all day. Now, granted, I probably still would have made the wrong decision, but maybe there's some history there that played into the factor as well. Factored in as well, I should say.
Fabrice Soulier is the current chip leader with nearly $1 million. Meanwhile, we're going to check in on Martin Jakobsen. Vadim Markashevsky has moved all in with 5s, called by Jakobsen with ace-queen.
Well, if you're going to mess with ace-queen, that's the way to do it, yeah.
Markashevsky does not river a 5, and that will see him KO'd by Martin Jakobsen. 2-time second place finisher in this season of the EPT, back on the main stage. And Michel Detani is all in with ace-king. Darren Kramer with 3s.
Michael, you got 2 others. Yeah.
Welcome back from the upside down. It's nice to see you've grown up.
You know, there's only one never beats me, huh?
Ace King never beats you, right?
How much?
What's it like having Winona Ryder as your mother? Oh, it's a race.
Not easy
Too
anymore.
late.
Oh, not looking good for Detani. That being said, straight draw. Could spike a queen. Needs to hit on the river.
Detani, more like Dasani, because this guy's thirsty for a queen.
Doesn't hit. Another player KO'd.
Can I get another crack at a sweat with hand? I feel real dumb about that one.
I'm sure there'll be another as we find Alessandro Laubinger all in with 9s against Yves Buschetti, and that is quads for Laubinger.
More like Loudbinger. More like Loudbinker. We got there in the end.
Look at this guy. It's Hans Meyer, whose aces have just been cracked by Ben Wilanowski's ace-queen. So Hans Meyer is eliminated.
You guys want to comment or
Don't
something?
worry.
Like I want a pot.
Yes. Exactly.
And we have a very stressed player here, all in with ace-9 against Martin Jakobsen's jack-10.
Well, in 2011, it would have been his, no. His heyday as a Guy Pearce lookalike.
So many eliminations, and that means we are close to making the money now. In fact, we're very close to the bubble. 122 players remaining and 120 get paid. Ruthenberg.
It's a little cheeky, huh?
Racing with 4-3 of clubs. Down to his nemesis, Felix Schulze, who's got a legitimate hand this time, ace-queen.
I have a feeling these two are going to start a little stack swinging contest. If they didn't have history before, they do now.
Schulze makes it 17,100. Oh, we are on the bubble. Down to 121 now. World famous bubble coverage, retro style. Look at Ruthenberg responding with a re-raise, putting Schulze to a decision for all of his chips. It's all into call.
I knew it. I knew it. Can't fold ace queen, buddy.
They're on the bubble.
Oh.
This is it. 1-2-1 remain. 120 get paid.
This is the worst part, is that you make the right call here and he bigs a 3 and you're still out. Take the exact thing I said, but completely the opposite.
Fold for them in cash. You know you want to.
Call, whatever.
Wow.
Oh, yes. You know what? I love it.
Call whatever. The reality is, you're only a 68% favorite here.
I know. Please don't punish this dude for making the right call here. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay. It's looking pretty good. Queen high flop. Ruthenberg down to 5%.
Never easy, though.
It's never easy in poker.
Yeah, will it be dead on the turn?
There we go.
Yeah.
That's decisive. So Felix Schulze is going to double up through Sebastian Ruthenberg. The bubble is not going to burst on this hand.
Nice try, homie.
So I imagine we are now hand for hand.
Thank you. We're down to 121 players. You all know we do play for the bubble right now.
From 121. 2 bubbles.
JMP. JMP.
JMP.
Check the card. When he folded an underpair. Sorry.
This is Carl Klöser, who has decided to move all in with 9-7. Why?
Because he looks a lot like Carl from up also, especially when you factor in the outfit.
And Christian Knessa obviously is going to call here with aces.
No, he's reshoving for a little more.
Oh dear.
I wish this was against George Danzer so I could say, hold me close, Georgie Danzer.
Not being funny, this guy could so easily have folded his way into the money. I'm not sure why he decided to take a punt here with 9-7 off.
Because he's a boss.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow, 3 all-ins.
This could save him.
According to the amount of the all-ins, the highest amount of chips I'm going to see first.
I'm really rooting for Carl to get saved.
Okay, I'm just going to pause this here because I think we need to explain something, right?
Yeah.
So basically, we now know that the rule is if you have an all-in at the same table and 2 players go bust on the bubble, the player with the most chips gets them in cash, the other player bubbles. If the situation is that multiple players go broke from different tables, they effectively split them in cash. That was not the rule back in season 7. So that is why Thomas Kremser has just announced that they're going to do the all-ins according to chip stack, because basically it's going to be if there is more than one elimination, it will be the player with the bigger stack who gets the min cash. Only one player is actually going to bubble.
Oh no. So So if you have the smallest stack, oh, that's wild. Okay, so this guy, so this guy's chances are not very good right now.
No, they're good because he had more chips. He got it in with a bigger stack. Which is why, again, the fact that he wasn't even that short makes the shove with 9-7 even more ridiculous.
Also, he could win.
Eine 7, eine 9.
Closer needs another 9 or a 7. Let's see the top. Top card, 4.
Eine 7.
9 oder 7.
9. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
Okay, so Klose is eliminated. We know with certainty that the bubble has burst, but the question is, will other players go broke, giving Klose a min cash?
Klose, but no cigar.
So over to the next table, where it is Alexei Lobzhanadze against Vladimir Geshkombine.
4 of clubs, 2 of hearts, 5 of hearts, queens are in the lead. One in player needs an ace or pair. King of hearts.
Okay, so Lobzhanadze looking for an ace or a 3 on the river. It's an 8. So the good news for Karl Klose is he's now guaranteed a min cash. Alexei Lobzhanadze will get a min cash if this player goes broke. It's Maxim Paniak at the disco, all in with ace queen against Deletsky's ace queen.
Not looking good for Lobzhanadze, is it? Oh no!
It's a chop pot. You know what they say, Joe? Everyone loves a chop pot. So that means we get a min cash for Klose. He is officially the 120th place finisher. Yes, you were an idiot for shoving with 9-7, but somehow you still managed to make the money. Unlike Andre, who's eliminated on the bubble. And at this point, at the end of play, Fabrice Soulier is the chip leader with more than $1 million. Giuseppe Pantaleo, who final tabled Barcelona, is also among the big stacks. Martin Jakobsen in the top 5 as well. So, how do you feel, Joe, about how they used to run the bubble versus how it runs now?
I think it's like most things, that the things that have evolved on the poker tour and the rules have evolved in the right direction. There was only one time there was a rule change that I didn't care for, and that was the last card, the first card off the deck rule. I was like, I don't really care for that. Almost every other innovation and or rule change, I've been like, you know what, this feels like the right decision, and it feels like the right decision that it shouldn't matter in that case in hand for hand, that it should be if 3 people go broke, then they chop those last 2 min cashes.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Also, just because that goes along with my sensibilities as well. You know me in my bubble list tournament. I like a flatter payout structure. I like seeing more people cash. I like seeing fewer people go home empty-handed. So all in all, that just totally aligns more with my sort of belief system.
No, for sure. And I don't disagree with you. As it stands, though, however it worked out, that was the bubble bursting. And I believe that brings play on day 2 to a conclusion. So I think now we're going to be kicking off the action on day 3 of the EPT Berlin main event from April 2011. And that means we are going to have a new lineup at the feature table. So let's see who fate has dealt us.
Good use of the word dealt.
Fabrice Soulier, who is the chip leader right now with a 7-figure stack. Giuseppe Pantaleo, another big stack and an EPT finalist this season. Yeah. And Ben Roberts from the UK, who for at least another 5 days will be representing Full Tilt Poker.
Ouch.
say we'd reference the event for which April 2011 is better remembered.
My old friend Fabrice.
Round to Soulier, who's got Queen 9 in the cutoff. And is raising to 11,000.
What's German Paul Berenda going to do?
He flats on the button. And it's round to Ben Roberts in the big blind. Queen 6.
I like just calling with ace 10 on the button. You can play it for its exact value.
Well, Fabrice probably liking this flop. Top pair and the queen high flush draw. Pantaleo, however, with the ace high flush draw. And we can see it is literally 50-50.
Interesting check from Fabrice.
I like the way you throw the chips on the table. Why? Fancy.
You would think that you've hit this flop pretty hard with top pair, queen kicker, decent heart draw. Strange check.
Right, check.
But I guess maybe he thinks he can get value out of hands exactly like Pantaleo has. You know, that he's going to semi-bluff a naked heart and he can call down with just top pair. Good run out. Now bets for value.
Makes it 28,000.
Unconventional line, but seems fine.
Pantaleo folds.
Pantaleo down.
I'm sure you folded the best hand.
I don't think so.
That's unnecessary.
Show me one. Show me the 8.
I show you one.
He had the winning hand.
He showed the queen, right?
I did.
Right, entries are now 500.
Kent Lundmark.
My boy.
Looks like we're going to take a tour of champions from this season. Lundmark won in Barcelona, Stani in Tallinn. Roberto Romanello took down Prague. Oh dear. He's not well, is he?
Wasn't as big of a deal back then, was it?
I love that. And this one's an Olympic gold medalist, so in your face, all other winners.
And I guess technically she's a European poker playing champion.
Giovanni Cantonati with ace queen against Thomas Bichon's jack 8.
Look at this cute little coffee cup.
You think the Italians go always all in, yes? But I'm not a normal boy.
Not gonna go all in on this hand.
I'm not a normal boy.
Do not mess with the Corsican.
Oh yeah. This is a Minieri. Oh, he always said this.
Yeah, but he's very clever, Minieri.
I thought because I came back and I don't want to go again to the. And I thought. Yes, now show. You told me you show.
Yeah, I show.
I show you one. Yeah, you're a very lucky guy.
That's how I play. Jack 8 of diamonds. My best hand in 2 hours.
I have to fold, I cannot. Nice hand.
Thanks.
First hand folded. So right now, Fabrice Soulier still sits at the top of the leaderboard. Germans behind him, Laubinger, Pantaleo, and Schaefer, with Martin Jakobsen in 5th.
Brandon Schaefer?
No. Got Matthew Frankland at the feature table.
Frankland is by far my favorite amusement park.
Raises from the hijack with King Queen suited to 10,200.
My favorite ride at Frankland is the Frank Stalloner coaster. What do you guys like at Frankland? What are your favorite rides?
Ace 6 for Fabrice Soulier in the big blind.
Frank. Free entry to Frankland on your birthday.
How much is that?
King Queen suited.
25,200.
Ah, man, I gotta tell you. Woo!
Nice try, Fabrice.
Yikes.
I won't try it again.
Promise?
I'll try not to try.
You can't help it.
You know me, Fabrice. I've always got it.
Yeah.
Peter Eastgate has called the all-in of Marco Morales. Morales with the dominating hand.
He's way too stressed out. I don't like his chances.
Well, Eastgate's only got 2 outs. Yep, this is not the PCA where everyone makes a set of jacks.
150, 55.
So Eastgate loses that one as Morales doubles up and survives. Meanwhile, Fatima de Melo all in and at risk, dominated by Enrique Pino. Ace King versus King 9.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You just didn't have to have Ace King. That was the only problem.
That's true.
And ace high flop. Fatima drawing very, very thin.
We'll see again.
Drawing dead on the turn.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, guys.
But she made the money. 2 EPTs in a row, cashed in Snowfest, and then cashed here in Berlin.
Sorry guys, Fatima left.
Have you ever watched any of her like hockey highlights?
No.
Yes, I know you don't fall.
Me neither.
Back to the feature table. Did you bring that up for
I don't
a
know.
reason?
I don't think I've ever seen a hockey highlight, let alone one of Fatima's. Bob, B. Stobie asked, what did she lose to? I missed it. Better hand. Thank you for your question.
Fabrice has opened in early position with 9-8 of diamonds, and Matt Frankland has got the snowmans. Num-num.
He's always got it.
You again. It's always me, Fabrice.
Too bad. Eventually. How much is this beautiful bet?
27-3.
Wow, now you have a lot.
He's like a poor man's Patrick Bruel.
All right.
She keep giving me them.
Yeah, I know. I know. How am I going to take them all now? That's a question.
Hit a 9. Make a straight flush.
What's the plan? What's the plan?
My plan.
No, mine. Yours, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to know.
A bit more subtle than that.
Like this, I can organize my plan.
I guess I have an idea. Okay. 27-3, right?
Mm-hmm. I like how Franklin's just like, yeah, no, go on, please, whatever. I think I got this.
Calls the 3-bet out of position with suited connectors. Let's see how it works out for him. Okay, well, he's open-ended.
Open-ended and 2 overs, so, you know, some heavy lifting, semi-bluffing, like a semi-bluff check raise here. Doesn't get away with it, gets there on the turn.
You don't want me to bet here, do you?
Who knows?
Frankland may be closing early today.
Especially as he's got 2 blockers to the straight.
Yeah. You two with the blockers, huh? Is that it? You leave me in the dust on this one?
I just love the fact that it tilts you so much. 36,000 to bet from Soulier.
I mean, you can't blame him. Fabrice is never supposed to show up with 9-8 here.
4 on the river.
I would say there's plenty of hands that have jacks in them, though.
I'm gonna bet like 54.
54?
Yeah.
54K.
Seems like a pretty easy fold at this point, but we all know I overfold.
I'd have been much happier calling if you just went all in.
I think that's an astute point, Matthew Franklin, and I think it makes it a little easier to fold.
Well, Franklin called.
Oh.
And that pot worth nearly $250,000 chips, which will be added to Fabrice Soulier's stack.
He had a hand. He don't call me bluff. He just called because he had a
Soulier.
No? Yeah, there is Jack Mini.
Matthew Franklin is Phil
exactly.
Collins.
Well, Matt Franklin now finds himself all in with King Jack. Pocket tens here for Mikhail Lakitov. He announces call. And we are off to the races. Flip that coin.
Like source code versus Hannah. One of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage from 2011.
Looking pretty good now.
I don't want to hit 2 pair, right? 4 spades.
Yeah, that's the only thing you don't want.
4 spades is the card we want. Well, that's not good. That's a bad card.
7 cards that Matt has to fade on the river.
9 and a king.
Of course. Makes sense.
But he's safe, gets the double up.
Just pick up the biggest liar you can do. They will believe you.
Got some yellows again now. I can speak to you guys. Try and hang on one this time.
Put my name on it, please.
Sebastian Ruthenberg at the outer tables, all in with Queen 10.
How much you got? I'm gonna lose a big chance now. 180. Okay, sick, man.
Christianos Androulis with Ace King.
Oh,
nice. Calls.
Good 9. Money goes in anyway.
Flops top, but Ruthenberg's open-ended.
You want now to know what did I fold now? Yes. Ace fold.
Ilya.
Yes. No ace.
That's jinx for me.
No river jokes, guys. No river jokes. Can't stand it anymore. Oh, such pressure. Alrighty.
No ace or 9 on the river. Sebastian Ruthenberg eliminated.
Image is working. So I had a lot of blockers for both of you.
Oh my goodness, Ilya said blockers in 2011.
Bet here on the river from Alessandro Laubinger. Hugo Lemaire. 125k to call.
This player, Tomer Pidon, your heads-up game is ready to start.
What is it?
Hugo Nightmare.
Tomer Pidon, from the heads-up.
Yeah.
Set of 9s is good.
And Loudbinker is back in action.
A little dance there as well. It was quite cute. Laubinger playing 762,000. That's going to put him amongst the chip leaders. It's going to put him in second place, sandwiched between Kent Lundmark and the current chip leader, Fabrice Soulier, who's got a sizable advantage right now. Eastgate all in with ace-5, called by ace-10.
Domination Nation.
Dirk Jasper. There's
not quite all in yet.
3-bet to isolate. Not looking good for Eastgate. Needs a 5 to stay alive, doesn't hit. Peter Eastgate eliminated in 95th place, cashes for 10,000 euros in this 5,000 euro buy-in event.
Did Eastgate continue playing after this?
Don't think he did. Ben Wolanowski all in with ace-queen. And he's going to double up through Joe's favorite EPT champion.
What? Kent Lundmark.
How's my hair, boys?
Kent Lundmark.
Oh, he's 10. Don't know what shit you had.
.92 players remaining now.
Yeah, believe me, there was no danger of me folding anything like ace-10.
Back at the feature table,
Yeah, better than ace-10.
Mikhail Lakitov has got Queen Jack of Strawberries.
A real nice looking hand that never wins.
Have you looked? No. No read.
The breeze.
Calls on the button with pocket 7s. And these two are going heads up to the flop.
Don't go on tilt. You just lost the coin flip. That's it. Don't go crazy.
Yikes.
Well, Lakitov is open-ended.
Okay,
And
you
a
can go on
statistical favorite, even though Fabrice has the best hand right now.
Is it real bad that I'm rooting for 6-8?
Call you once.
$1,200 C-bet
Give up on the
called.
ace. Oh, it's an ace?
Yeah, well, Lakitov not going anywhere now. This should get the job done. 24,800.
Well, I see one of two things happening. Fabrice folding, Fabrice raising.
I see him folding.
I'll make it 65.
Wow, he does raise.
Hey-o!
Well, Lakitov can't fold, not with this huge draw.
Monster draw.
Yes. Yes. Watch as he bricks the river.
65. I know. No, it's his hand just never makes anything.
It's going to be so gross because he's going to brick the river and he could probably bluff Fabrice off the sevens, but he's not. He's going to check. It's going to get checked back, and then he's going to lose.
Yep.
Just watch. Just watch.
Every time.
Check.
Oh, God. Fabrice
I have a
back.
Oh,
pair win.
Man.
Oh, Jack Queen.
Oh, he's so disgusted.
It was a value bluff.
You're bluffing with a winning hand.
What do you think of if Lakatov shoves turn?
Jack Queen half.
Yeah, I'm running.
I don't think it's terrible.
Keep it up.
I think it's
what I'm
pretty
wondering is,
easier.
like,
it's pretty
do you
easier
get
to shove turn than bluff river, right?
Does ace king fold? Does like top fold?
I'm not sure top is raising the turn.
If you can get my barometer is like if you can get top to fold, then what is happening here? This guy's in the tank for 35K with enough flush on a single paired board. I'm always like, well, if I can get top to fold, I think this is a good bluff. I don't ever expect people to fold two pair or better, but
on the flop, probably all in or something like that.
I have king 9 off.
Auto value. No.
Seriously about to fold it?
Have you played with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just whatever.
I thought I hear a fold now.
No, I'll probably.
Pino making
Yeah, I know.
a bit of a tight play there, but nonetheless, still a big stack as we go back to the main feature table.
look, I give him a hard time for taking a second there with the flush, and I would say that a lot of people's one of their big flaws, mine included, is not taking long enough to think about those decisions. It's just snapping. Okay, I have a sorry, it's a pair board, but I call.
Yeah.
And I do think that it is worth considering a little bit longer sometimes.
So Fabrice Soulier opens with 9 deuce and gets 3-bet by Giuseppe Pantaleo with Queen Jack.
Fabrice
calls the re-raise, flops trip 9s.
Good.
You really do hate to see it. And by that, I mean the little patch of hair that Pantaleo missed on his chin. What's happening there? This super stressed out look. I know it's 2011. It's 9 years ago. This is like an insane tell for me.
You better have the goods. Like online, they lost the check button. I know some people, they tape it.
Oh, man. Pantaleo is just stepping in it with his right foot, stepping in it with his left foot, stepping in it with both feet, stepping in it with his face.
I raised for 130 total.
Poor Pantaleo.
I know I should remember this, but didn't Pantaleo blast off with something yesterday too?
It was the day before that we covered Barcelona, and yes, he did. To be fair, he was actually playing a very strong game until that infamous chop that wasn't a chop, and then kind of went to pieces.
Yeah, and he blasted off.
Your favorite?
Yeah, good card to hold. Never forget all the deuce of clubs.
You're revealing all of your secrets.
I showed the deuce of clubs.
I know, I shouldn't show. I still had the best hand. No worries.
One might say that showing the deuce of clubs there is almost like showing the douche of clubs, which of course in French means the shower of clubs.
Let me know when you're ready, Dave.
Well, GG, Ivy.
Yeah.
Don't call for the heart. Loud binker.
Boah, ist das sick, Alter. Boah, ist das sick, ey. Ace, Ace, Kings. Flushed für ihn.
Fabrice taking a hand off.
Why?
Pantaleo opening with Queen 10.
I mean, look, he's playing awesome. I don't agree with some of his hand selection, but he's maximizing his opportunities with them. So good for him.
12. Now, I remember saying this on the live stream, and I'm pretty sure I said it when we recorded the commentary for the TV shows. This dude looks just like my friend Ray.
Ha! Look, if you rearrange the letters of his name, it spells me, Ray.
It's Lucas Meyer here with the Queen Jack of Diamonds.
120.
Uh-oh.
Queen high flop. Pantaleo could get into trouble here.
Raise.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
How much?
How do you raise here
34.
and your opponent has the exact best hand to pay you off? Just like, bang, you have Queen 10, raise. Is this a move Ray might make?
Oh, absolutely.
Kind of feels like it, actually, from what I know of Ray. Ray came to your birthday party at the Hippodrome that time,
Correct,
right?
yes.
I don't remember much of him. Pantaleo. This is the kind of hand that can make you go Pantaloonie.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
3 outer, 10 on the river for Pantaleo. And the Ray lookalike is dispatched in 83rd place, cashing out for 10,000 euros.
Why you raise? You know I'm crazy, so.
He's crazy.
I don't really care for that explanation.
I'm crazy. You think you're crazy? You didn't see nothing yet.
That's true. He doesn't know you yet.
You're not. I know you.
I know you know.
Fabrice is kicking into Bachman Turner overdrive. You ain't seen nothing yet. Domination Nation.
Yeah, Matt Franklin all in again, at risk. Fabrice Sulio
I'm gonna call.
with the better hand, calls.
97.
Ace Queen versus King Queen suited, only a slightly better hand.
No.
Don't let these numbers fool you.
Yeah. You're
crushed?
No.
Yeah, I'm crushed.
97, you're going to call the snap.
Yeah, but I have you behind. You're crazy, you told me.
I got a good feeling anyway.
No, you think I'm crazy. That's I'm not.
I'll just get on with it. Let's put Matt Franklin out of his misery.
Not the bit I need, though.
Franklin needs a king on the river to survive. It's a deuce. And Matt Franklin is dispatched. He cashes for 10K.
Always nice playing with you.
That's nice from my end of things.
No, I mean, regardless, chips.
Roberto Romanello, short stacked, all in with 8-4 of clubs. Dieter Weigel with ace-jack. And ace-high is holding. Roberto pairs his 4. But it's a deuce on the river, and Roberto Romanello is eliminated. Champion down. Season 7 Prague winner out in 75th place.
Hey, I'm dreaming. Good luck, everyone.
See you, man. Thanks.
I get the impression that Roberto might not have been in the best of health for this particular event.
Yeah.
Good luck, everyone.
Get better on Tuesday. You got him pretty good, though. He thought he lost 2 for a second.
I'm like, fuck.
No, I thought I won, but then...
Yeah, I was wondering why you said.
So we've got a new player at the feature table. 2 new players, Armin Meta and Torsten Hase. Remember him from the Dortmund final table in Season 5?
Absolutely not. There's only one Torsten in my book, and it's Brinkman. Hey, Sweaty with Giuseppe.
Good luck playing a hand from Pantaleo's perspective. Raise, bet, raise, re-raise, bet, get there.
So I'm not 100% button raiser. Again, maybe that's a me thing. But I do think I don't know. I don't think having a small folding range on the button is fine. But hey, it's Pantaleo.
We're going to have a fun conversation in a moment about branding. I know you can't wait. We'll just let the boring poker play out first, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes as Pantaleo pairs his 5 on the turn.
That's what I'm here for. I'm here for the fun behind-the-scenes stuff, and I think I know what you're going to say, and it's some interesting stuff.
Who do you think has the best hand here?
Oh, yeah, I forgot we're supposed to be sweating with this hand. I did think Roberts had the best hand. I still do. But I think he has a hand we can get him to fold.
I don't think he does. I think he's got nothing.
Never mind.
I think this is a bluff. I think it's an absolute bluff. I think Roberts is exhibiting weakness.
When he leads here, I actually tend to agree with you. But I think he can have a 6 when I say I think he has a better hand. I don't mind putting in a raise here. Can't call you with anything but a king.
9 high.
Oh, just call.
And Roberts announces 9 high, 9-7, busted straight draw.
That's a very generous way of putting it.
Pantaleo wins a pot. Playing a lot of hands, Joe. VPIP of 39%. These are the last 59 hands he's played, but his win-loss record, not great. He's won 7 pots, but he's lost 16. And again, we can see his range is extraordinarily wide.
Yeah, I mean, what I would love to know is if, let's say on all those button hands, was it unopened before it got to him? It's an important factor left out.
There's a reason we don't have that graphic anymore. Fabrice Soulier, by the way, now playing 1.5 million.
No, it's just a question. Doesn't have much meaning. Nothing against you either.
Round to Pantaleo on the button. Oh, sorry. Now it is. Fabrice is folded.
Oh, look at this wide range he's playing.
And it's Ben Roberts in the big blind with ace-9.
This is
all in
unfortunate.
and a call, and it's Domination Nation.
This is unfortunate. Wake up with an ace in the big blind against a button raise from a guy who's playing 40% of hands. Gross.
That's what I needed.
Game over. Dead on the flop.
Pretty much.
Did Ben Roberts play like a cop in the UK in the 1970s?
No.
Nice playing with you.
Not that I'm aware of.
I mean, I thought when you were like, it's Ben Roberts, I was like, oh, this must be like one of those like retired actors plays poker.
No, he was a regular on the UK circuit and a sponsored pro for Full Tilt. And he's eliminated here in 71st place. Meanwhile, we see 2 players with 7-figure stacks now. Alessandro Laubinger with $1 million. Fabrice Soulier with 1.5 million. So yeah, a lot of comments about the patch being covered on Roberto Romanello's cap. And yes, at this point in time, Roberto, like Ben Roberts, was sponsored by Full Tilt Poker. Now, generally speaking, we don't cover up competitor branding. Just because PokerStars is the sponsor of the event doesn't mean we don't allow sponsored pros to wear patches. There are a couple of caveats to that, though. There are very strict rules on certain TV broadcasters about how big patches can be. And there's actually most sites will have an agreed patch sizing that they will give their pros, and they know if they're at an event which is being televised, it has to be a certain size, and the larger patches have to be covered up or removed. But in Germany, there are very, very strict rules on branding, and the rule was you could not have a single logo for any gaming site inside the casino. So the only PokerStars patches you see, for example, are the red spade. There is not a single PokerStars logo anywhere. And that's why Roberto's cap had to be covered up. It wasn't because, oh, Full Tilt's the enemy. No, it's because legally you're not allowed to advertise, or I know the rules are changing in Germany, but at this point in time in 2011, you couldn't advertise any gaming site inside a German casino. And if you entered the venue and they saw any patching, they would ask you to remove it or they would cover it up for you.
I noticed that there was one shot that he had the hat fully exposed. I don't know if that was cheated or a mistake, or was there like a certain...
I think generally if people did remove the patch, or maybe they...
It would just take a second to get it covered up again.
Yeah, it would absolutely be covered, and it was a very strict legal requirement. I mean, I remember going into work at the casino every day to work on the TV shows and work on the live stream. I had an old PokerStars bag, and every day it would be like, get the black tape out and cover it up. You know, I'm not appearing on screen. I'm not even in the main hall of the casino. But if I'm at the venue, no branding of any kind for any gaming site. And that was one of the disadvantages of having this tournament play inside the casino versus the hotel opposite, because you could be a bit more liberal with the branding if you were at that venue. So there you go, a little fun story from behind the scenes.
I mean, things are always whack and not whack, I shouldn't say. Things are always sort of evolving and changing in the German gambling landscape also. Like, we eventually stopped going to Berlin because of various reasons.
Yeah, and as I said, it's changing again. I'm sure you've seen some of the stories about that. So let's continue our coverage of this event. A reminder that it is the Berlin leg, the German leg of season number 7 of the European Poker Tour. We are in April of 2011, and of course we are going to talk at detail about what happened, I guess, right after this event. I remember coming back from Berlin. In fact, let's get into it now, why don't we? I remember coming back from Berlin, Joe, and 5 days later, on the Friday of that week, the news, of course, that online poker...
You were about to go to America also, I think.
I was due to fly to America on the Saturday morning, and on the Friday, because we were still voicing the NAPT TV shows, and of course we got the news that everything had changed and the online poker effect had been shut down in America. So this was a very weird event, Berlin, because this was where I'm kind of like at peak happiness. We're streaming this event, we're televising this event, going back to America to do the NAPT TV shows. We're going to be doing more events for season 3.
You're going to get another cheap iPad.
Exactly. And then, of course, it all goes wrong. So that's what I was alluding to earlier on when I said that these guys would be full tilt pros for at least another few days. Anyway, let's focus on the positive and not on the negative. We've got Fabrice Soulier still at the feature table, plus Pantaleo. So I guess this is day 3 continued.
Good old Armin Mesa. Thank goodness he was highlighted. My money's on Muro, personally.
Gerardo Muro.
Glad to have Fabrice back. He's a character. He's a talker, and that's what we like.
Raising the button with ace-queen. Giuseppe Pantaleo with king-10 of diamonds in the small blind.
Yes, Pantaleo finally going to get Soulier's got position on him and everything.
You like to play, huh?
No.
So top pair for Pantaleo, the gut shot for Fabrice.
78% as long as you don't hit 2 pair.
Damn it.
Diamonds. Pantaleo's hand just gets stronger.
You know, I guess I'll give Fabrice some credit for this too, in that, you know, when he seemed real stressed out and to not like his hand when he had the trip 9s, he kind of has this similar demeanor now, and he probably can't be super crazy about it. So maybe it wasn't as big a tell as I originally didn't give him credit for. I guess he's not quite as dejected.
Side. Wow, nice turn.
Yeah, it was.
Pantaleo wins the pot.
Really enjoying
Are you
this
going to call a bet on the river?
rivalry.
You're running too good. I can't.
Please don't say it. I lost kings against ace queen.
Come on.
Soulier still chip leader with 1.44 million. Alessandro Laubinger second in chips. A couple of Swedes in the top 10. Both Martin Jakobsen and Kent Lundmark.
Kent Lundmark. Later. Muro? Aw, come on, buddy.
Oh, those chip stacks. That's just asking for trouble. I'm not sure he's washed his hair. Armin Mehta has Jack 10 of diamonds in the big blind.
Doesn't get... Hold on, let me try that again. It doesn't get much better than Armin Mehta.
How long until you're going to wheel out a meta game gag?
Oh, man, I actually haven't even gotten there yet.
So, pair of 10s for Meta. The flush draw for Pantaleo.
Might be time for Pantaleo to start betting. Yeah, here we go.
19,000.
I know, I see that.
Second pair. Not horrible kicker. With my reputation. Meta calls. And a deuce on the river. Meta has a lock on this, but if Pantaleo bluffs the river, will he call again? Chunky bet as well, 68.5. And Meta finds a call. Good call. Wins a 200K pot.
Pretty tough to fold second pair to a guy as live as Pantaleo.
We're heading out into the field. Hey everyone, it's Bolivar Palacios.
Not for long, it's not.
Well, Lundmark is the all-in player. Palacios can't go broke here, even though he's only got 6%.
Yeah, Lundmark not in for very much at all, is he?
Ken Lundmark smiled, everyone. Note the time and date. And Ken Lundmark will double up through Bolivar Palacios, who we saw final table the PCA. Ken Lundmark, winner of Barcelona in Season 7.
This season.
Exactly. And Giuseppe Pantaleo was at that final table. He's at our feature table here in Berlin.
You know, can I just say that, and it couldn't have been done without the producers that came before, but I really feel like this show is like really coming into its own now in Season 7. The way that, just like any other TV show, you're building characters, you're keeping some of the same characters from week to week. Just like a really good job. You know, that's why people watch television, right? They want to see familiar faces, and you can't have a familiar face unless you build them into a character and follow their arc. And so, you know, just some great decisions being made. Things we take for granted now in poker television. But just to stay with a guy like Pantaleo, just to be smart enough to know that, like, hey, we saw a ton of this guy last time. Even if he doesn't go super deep in this, let's stick with him for as long as we can. Let's check in with Kent Lundmark. These are things that are, like, obvious to us now, but weren't so obvious, I don't think, in the early days of covering poker on TV.
I think it was always very easy to be driven by what are the best hands, what are the most interesting cards, and sometimes you realize that it's actually about focusing on characters, as we discussed with Matthew Dix on this week's Poker in the Ears podcast.
Yeah.
Stories are driven by humans, not mathematics. And here we see Fabrice Soulier shove on Mikhail Lakatov, who's had a torrid time at this feature table. All into call with 10s, makes the call, and is in a great spot to double up.
Yeah, Lakatov did not really have a big enough stack that he could get away from 10s.
Oh, no. Boy. Don't do it to him.
8 of spade would be okay. 8 of spade would be a luck.
You think so? You think so?
At least if I wait for the flop, I have full equity there.
Oh, dodge one.
That's one you dodged.
12 cards that Lakitov has to fade on the river.
Wow.
Whew. He survives, Joe.
That's a lot of fading. I know in Fabrice's mind, he feels like he got unlucky there. It feels like that sometimes.
Nice hold, man.
Thank you.
That was a tough one there.
So cute.
So Soulier still chip leader. Lakitov a tad more comfortable now. Blinds 5,000, 10,000. Torsten Hase passes. Fabrice with 9-8 of clubs.
Here's a nice piece of 9 high. Will he ever learn?
Queen 9 for Giuseppe Pantaleo.
James, we've been covering these retro streams for so long. Opening suited connectors isn't really in fashion at the moment in 2020, is it?
Is it not?
Like I'm not saying people never do it, but certainly they're not taking every opportunity. Maybe it is. I don't know. That's what I guess.
I have no idea what's in vogue anymore.
Fairly leading. I have a feeling that during quarantine, that some major advancements in evolution of the poker metagame have been happening behind closed doors, and we're not going to find out about it for a while.
Ooh. I like where your head's at. Well, it's domination rotation as Soulier outflops Pantaleo, pairing his 8.
Reaper Stack says, min 3-bet is the new thing, and it's stupid. Well, if Reaper Stacks thinks it's stupid, I'm probably going to be on board. Fabrice doesn't really miss, huh?
Running so golden.
And it's just stubborn in all the right places. Like, just never really runs into it.
And now has the club draw to go with a pair of 8s. Pantaleo with a gut shot. Action goes check, check. 7 on the river doesn't change anything.
It's running so pure.
Pantaleo going to try and bluff river.
Pantaleo.
Can he bluff Soulier off an 8 here? Got a pot of 196,000 and a bet from Pantaleo of 76,000.
A valiant effort here from Pantaleo. I just don't see. Nice. I was going to be dead wrong about that.
6, 7 of spades. 6, 7 of spades. Turn them up.
He could. 9, 10 of spades too.
No.
Tiny big hand.
Fabrice has dropped below the million mark. Pantaleo hovering around the $500,000 mark. So Fabrice no longer chip leader. Ben Wilanowski is now number 1. Fabrice has dropped down to number 6. There's Ben.
Really loves the camera, doesn't he? Are we flipping here?
Hey everyone, it's Boulevard Palacios.
Like 2.5 men versus American Dad. One of these two things from 2011 has a slight mathematical advantage. 2.5 men with Ashton. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, with Ashton Kutcher. Palacios.
Doubles up through the chip leader. $444,000. Kent Lundmark all in with ace queen against Alexander Smolin's ace 4. It's domination nation in Kent's favor, but the rotation has occurred with a 4 on the flop.
Did you see those tattoos on Smolin's knuckles?
Oh, wow. Another 4 on the turn. No second final table for Kent Lundmark. No second title in season 7. A 47th place finish here in Berlin.
15,000 euros is worth exactly 4.6 million Lundmarks.
Kevin Stani is another former champion who's at risk of elimination here, flipping against Max Heinzelmann, who's got 6s against Stani's ace-queen. 6s are holding. A set of 6s on the turn. Stani drawing to a chop. A full house for Heinzelmann, and Kevin is KO'd in 45th place.
I stand for Kevin Stani. I stand for Kevin Stani. I'm not sure. Hey, Max.
Heinzelmann with 1.2 million. So some new faces on the feature table, including Darren Kramer and Alessandro Laubinger.
Oh, the loud binker.
Johnny felt we got from 120 players to 48 really fast. It wasn't that fast. 120 was when we made the money at the end of day 2. All the time Fabrice and Pantaleo have been at this feature table, which is over the course of the last TV show and this one, has been playing down to this number.
I mean, it hasn't been a short period of time. It took 9 years.
Huh.
I think that's my favorite of your laughs.
Remember, on EPT Retro, we replay the TV shows that were produced with new commentary. These aren't replays of the live streams. In fact, during Season 7, only the final table of certain EPTs received the live stream treatment. And heaven knows where the recordings of those are.
I do replay some of my jokes as well.
So Lakitov 3 bets with 10s. Back on Pantaleo with the king-queen.
You remember? That was your table. Yes. I just came it a little bit. Maybe
all in.
We raise all in.
Sorry, I don't want it to make a war on the table with him. I just asked him because he said.
Lakitov with 10s again? Come on, buddy.
Pantaleo shoves on Lakitov, all into call. Lakitov makes the call and is racing for his tournament life.
Like someone like you versus rolling in the deep. One of these two things from 2011 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Pantaleo hiding from the outcome of this hand.
You shouldn't be allowed to do that. You have to watch every excruciating second of whiffing with King Queen here.
Please don't get your man sweat on our wine bar set.
Don't you think there are some sets that us as a production team would have been happy if someone had accidentally wrecked, so we'd have to get a new one.
This was definitely one of them.
Yeah. So Pantaleo wasn't covered, but he's got crumbs, I think.
Yeah, that
He's always got the hair on his chinny chin chin.
That was pretty brutal. Devastating blow to his stack. Yeah, very short now.
Those are the little chips. Yeah, that's fair.
25K he's got left. Blinds are 6-12.
My life.
Oh man, FML. Remember that phrase? FML?
Oh yeah.
All in.
That's so funny. So you just looked at one?
Yeah, just looked at the ace.
24K. Min raise.
Schrodinger's kicker.
Ja, geh doch mal drüber jetzt. Womit denn?
I think looking at one's like a pretty big tell here. Almost.
Yeah, but do they know he's only looked at one?
I think so. I think someone referenced it.
Darren Kramer re-raising to isolate.
I'm not huge on super strict rules of the table, but it is a little bit leading to look at one and move in. Oh, the dealer had only dealt one. Thank you, ANCAP.
40? Just fold, thanks, bro.
You got a good chance, I think.
I saw just the ace of spades.
That's a head already.
Really, you too?
No, that's a head.
Whoa!
Told you.
What?
Schrodinger's kicker.
Time to pick up aces.
Ace of spades and I moved all in, I swear. Oh, why I don't wait with king, queen.
This is going to be brutal, by the way.
No.
This is going to be so awful.
Now give us sweat. Ace jack.
No, not sweat, not
Ace
sweat.
jack.
Ace. Ace.
Oh, man. This is going to be so horrible.
Get to 75. What are you worried about? Look how good that looks.
Oh my god. What do you have?
Juice.
Oh, that's nothing. All right.
There's something like a nine.
Pretty good flop. Pretty good flop.
Likely to be all over on the turn. And it is. Giuseppe Pantaleo gets more than a double up.
What's happening over there? Oh, he's just...
He's being interviewed.
You big blinder.
You can see.
2011, where everyone was still happy to be interviewed because there were deals to be had.
24, 48,
No, it was 70.
56, 68, 74. Let me count.
There is Konstantin Puchkov, finalist from EPT 7 Barcelona. In hand against Ben Wilanovsky and Anton Morgenstern.
Anton Morgenstern looks real happy that Twilight Breaking Dawn.
Can you imagine if, like, Wilanovsky had bet 57,000 and it took him 10 minutes to realize that Puchkov had fallen asleep? He's folded, and Morgenstern folds as well.
I'm a vampire.
It's the biggest, it's the best. It's Bond and beyond. Ben Wilanovsky just ahead of Max Heinzelman on the leaderboard. Alessandro Laubinger in the top 5. Fabrice Soulier has moved up one spot. He's 5th in chips now. And what's happening here? They've got an all-in from Maxim Kolosov, called by Daniel Pidun. Robin Ulatalo was involved in this hand for a brief moment.
A 4 or a 9 would make for a delicious Kolosov cocktail. Nope.
Maxim Kolosov eliminated in 38th place, cashing for 15,000 euros.
Flame out.
Daniel Pidden now playing 1.3 million.
I remember him.
Hey, look, everyone, it's Bolivar Palacios. All in.
I love it.
Jack 10 against George Danza's queens.
I think this might be finally it for Bolivar.
Oh, say, can you see?
Hey, that's one song we don't have to pay for the rights to. Bolivar's eked out a few, but
oh
my
he does
goodness.
it again. Rivers
Holy.
2 pair. Palacios survives. Hold back some of the Naked Gun references. We might see him again.
You mark blindfold.
Never.
That looked like a good hand.
Armin Meta with aces. Folded to Giuseppe Pantaleo, who's got Queen Jack and a short stack.
Okay. Raise 60,000.
And he is all in, and he is getting called. In at least one spot, what's Laubinger got? Jacks in the big blind.
Raise. We raise.
Laubinger.
No, I don't say min raise. You said raise? You said raise or we raise? Not minimum raise.
He did not say min raise. We can confirm. Don't need to go back on the tape to prove that.
Because he raised less. He raised only to 75 and this is 60,000. So he has to
I
raise
don't let you do mine now.
Well, the irony is it will be a min raise because he didn't raise enough. 4-bet to 94,000.
94?
It's not looking good for Pantaleo, right?
180.
That is a 5-bet from Armin Meta, 180k.
180,000. Wish you luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, he's going to need it for Bruce.
I don't know.
I'll be around.
I'm coming home.
That is a call from Laubinger. So these two go to the flop. We have the all-in from Pantaleo. Sizable side pot between Laubinger and Meta. Ace is huge favorite. Still a huge favorite. 92% equity for Meta. Pantaleo just a 3% chance of survival. Laubinger checks. And Meta loads up. Continues the flop for 75,000. Laubinger folds. Showdown.
Runner.
Don't tell him what you folded, Alessandro.
Good luck, guys.
Runner, not going to happen, and Giuseppe Pantaleo will be eliminated in 37th place. Cashes for 15,000 euros. Armin Meta, the beneficiary of that pot. Here we go again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bolivar Palacios.
Okay, this time I think he's done.
Correct. Eliminated by Max Heinzelman. Palacios cashing out in 34th. Hey, gets to talk poker with Ilya Gorodetsky, though.
Ilya has always been old. All these people, you're like, oh, they're so young. They're so... Nope, not Ilya. Still 50.
Yeah, but the difference is everyone else has got older and Ilya hasn't changed at all.
Right, but he's consistently been 50.
Meanwhile, we are going to sweat with Fabrice Soulier. We're going to play a hand from his perspective as Armin Mehta opens under the gun.
I don't think I could ever match the creativity of Fabrice Soulier.
King Jack of Hearts here.
He takes some weird lines, but it is working.
Jo.
Big draw.
I'm actually younger than you.
I'm younger.
So this is interesting. Fabrice chose to 3-bet with the King Jack on the button to 84K. Darren Kramer has now 4-bet to 180K.
I mean, this is a 4-bet after another gun open.
Yeah.
Yes, I get that we're in position.
Oh,
yes, that I...
This is an easy fold as far as I'm concerned.
Yes. But my guess is that that's not what's going to happen here.
Maybe it's a pre-flop sweat, and we're meant to go through all the reasons why you shouldn't call with King Jack pre.
I doubt it.
Nah, he's cold.
Doubt it. Unless Fabrice like really irritated one of the producers and they made a sweat with hand, a hand where he finally steps in it.
I mean, I just don't see Darren Kramer 4-betting a light from the big blind in this particular situation. And he's now continuing the flop for 150,000. Fabrice has a gut shot. Backdoor hearts working for him okay, but I just have a really bad feeling about this. I think Kramer's really strong.
Oh, my goodness. I also just don't think that you've caught enough of this to continue.
Yeah.
Just spewing chips.
I don't think the
Even
Jack's enough. I don't think the Jack's enough.
Even catching a pair here, top pair. Now, it's kind of a scary card for overcards, right? Is that a check back from him?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's now 4 diamonds on the board.
Like, you assume, like, let's say you have kings here, aces. I can totally see checking the jack of diamonds. You expect your opponent's going to have a strong draw there, right? You're not going to expect that they're going to have king jack. And so the jack's going to help them. If they have a diamond draw, obviously, it's going to make some straights. Fabrice is going to have to fold this now, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Kramer had 10-3 off? Didn't think he had it in him.
Well played.
I mean, I think well played.
Not much on the turn.
Cold 4-bet.
The best ending from the flop, turn in with it.
Stick to your story.
On the river you might.
Oh, Fabrice is not happy. Not happy.
That was a strong... that's a strong contender for one of the better bluffs I've seen over the course of this series.
Yeah.
Cheer up a little bit.
Hey, guys.
Oh, wow. Did you hear that? Ben Wilanowski said, cheer up a little bit.
I'm a vampire. Everything's terrible.
My hidden mob page shows how much respect I have for that concept.
Oh, yes. The story of Ben Wilanowski's Hendon Mob page.
Is that a real story?
Yeah, we'll get to it during the break. Morgan Stern is the at-risk player here, by the way. He's got 14 outs now.
Bella, I love you.
Now you got a little bit of a smile, okay.
Does not hit any of them.
What's your name, man? Anton? Oh, God, not another one.
Edward.
I'm rooming with two
My-
Antons right now.
my name is Edward.
Yeah, I'll catch up with you sometime. We'll talk about hands. All right.
And Anton Morgenstern eliminated in 27th place. I think play is going to conclude on day 3 when they get down to the final 24. Ben Wilanowski now playing 2 million. By the way, he has so many of those Spy Who Loved Me poster t-shirts in different colors. I have to respect him for that.
It's one of my least favorites.
Really?
It's a fun one. Of the Roger Moore movies, it's quite good fun.
I can't believe Ben Wilanowski busts that guy and then gives him the old brush off. He's like, yeah, no, we'll talk. We'll talk. Like eyebrow rings versus wet hair. One of these two things from, hey, it's our old friend Jeffrey Hakeem.
So without being a folding the button, this is going to be blind v blind. Darren Kramer in the small with 6-3 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Queen 10 for Armin Mehta.
Kramer's going to play the rush, I guess. Keep that image going.
I feel so small, like leaning like this. It's terrible. It's really not cool.
Jack 10-6. Second pair versus bottom pair.
It's going to feel like a pretty good flop for 6-3 of diamonds.
43.
I do think this board is going to connect with a whole lot of hands that the big blind would call with.
Mehta now a 9-1 favorite.
Kramer with his foot firmly on the gas, started with 10-3 off, and is not relenting.
$79,000. And Mehta calls a second time. Going to the river. Which is the 10 of clubs. Trips for Mehta. Kramer, stop. Give up. White flag. Showdown value.
Kramer really never did know when to quit, did he?
3-3-6 in the middle. Oh, he has checked. Well done.
There's just no, once the 10 pairs, there's like not a lot of hands I think he thinks can fold, and I think he's right.
No. Can't call with a 6. I mean, you can, but no.
I mean, I think you'd be better off bluffing with this 6 and check folding it. Check calling is, yeah, I don't know. There it is. There it is.
Armin Mehta wins that blind v blind battle. And I think we are going to the outer tables where we have an all-in. Anton Thorarinsson at risk with ace-king, flipping against Robin Ulatalo's 8s. Robin with the snowmen's, num-num. And flops a set of 8s. Full house on the turn. Thorarinsson misses the river. That's going to take us down to 24 players. as Anton cashes out in 25th place, and that will bring day 3 of this event to a close. Daniel Pudden currently top of the leaderboard. Max Heinzelman second in chips. Ben Wilanowski third. Fabrice Soulier has now fallen out of the top 10. And yet, the thing with Ben Wilanowski, Joe, is Never Scared B. Is that his online handle? I think it is.
Yes.
And had a reputation as a very aggressive, very successful online player, but had never been able to translate that success into the live arena. Had played a ton of live tournaments, but had yet to secure an actual cash. And, of course, as you know, you don't get a Hendon mob page until you've actually locked up a live poker result, and then they create a profile for you. But it had become such a running joke that Ben Wilanowski had played all these live events and never cashed, that as a gag, his friends persuaded the Hendon mob to create a blank page for him. So Ben Wilanowski was the only person who had a Hendon mob page with no results on it. So the reason he referenced it there is because finally, he'd had his breakthrough and was now guaranteed his first live cash in this event in Berlin.
Finally got that flag. Well done. Yeah, I seem to remember now that you bring that up, that it was like a thing, like it was even something that was touched on in some of the TV shows, maybe in like a feature or something.
No, absolutely, because obviously it's a huge deal. And as I said, clearly a big fan of Roger Moore Bond movies, or at least the artwork for those movies. And I appreciate that because, look, I'm not the biggest fan of Roger Moore's Bond films, but, you know, it fits in with the whole retro thing, and I kind of like that. I respect him for that. And I imagine
the posters are better than a lot of the movies.
That is true. That is true. In some cases, not so much. Like the poster for A View to a Kill is just as bad as the film. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone off on a major Bond tangent, so let's get things back on track. By the way, should point out that when we talk about Hendon mob pages and results, we have got EPT Online starting next week. We are going to finish Berlin tonight. We're going to come back on Monday with 2 more episodes of EPT Retro, closing out Season 7 of the European Poker Tour, and actually closing out Retro, or EPT Retro, permanently. So we've got the Madrid Grand Final, then we've got the first ever Tournament of Champions event with all previous EPT winners coming back in a huge free roll at the casino in Madrid. That finishes this series of streams on Tuesday, but then we're back on Wednesday with EPT Online, covering the high rollers, covering the main event. And the one thing I was going to point out is that I think we need to make it clear this is being treated as an actual EPT stop. It's being treated as a full European Poker Tour festival. So all the results count. When we talk about EPT cashes, when we talk about main event wins, this is just like any other EPT. It's just being played in the virtual arena rather than at a live event.
Is someone going to call in another favor with the Hendon mob to get them to add this?
I do think that actually the guys have been doing great work throughout 2020 and cataloging all of the results from these major online series, and I imagine that yes, these will be catalogued and these will be added. I don't know whether it gets recorded slightly differently because it is played online, but yes, as far as we're concerned, it counts. So yeah, Retro Monday, Tuesday of next week, then we're straight into EPT Online. And if you are a fan of what we've done with taking these old TV shows and putting new commentary on them, just because we're stopping with the shows from the EPT Vault doesn't mean we're stopping full stop, because in the new year we have plans to unearth some other shows from the archives, from the LAPT, from the APPT, from the NAPT. So don't worry, if there's an opportunity for us to make new content out of old content incredibly cheaply, we will take it. So we will be back in 2021 with more, but I think we've done as much as we can with the European Poker Tour archive. Especially as Joe, we then voice every show moving forward, so it's really going to be a little bit too cannibalistic for my taste.
I do think maybe 10 years from now, if we're still doing this, then maybe we can go back to EPT Season 8 and redo ones we've already done.
Oh, in 10 years' time, Joe, you're going to be 58. You're going to be nearing retirement age.
It's true. Let's hope so. There's no retirement in my future, let's be honest. I have nothing.
Okay, so penultimate day of EPT Berlin kicking off now as they play down to the final table from the final 3 tables. And here's the lineup on the main stage. We've got Ben Wilanowski, joined by Darren Kramer and Jeffrey Hakim, who we've seen before. Joep van den Bijgaard from the Netherlands is now at the feature table as well.
Joep, Joep.
Oh, it sounds good, man.
It is nice. We're gonna do a lot of hard checking today, I think.
Hard checking, like
aggressive checks for
whenever
sure.
everyone's a hand, like.
How much are those? 30?
What a character.
Blinds 12,000, 24,000 with a 2,000 ante. And ace 5 for Ben Wilanowski.
I have a feeling we're going to be able to kind of kick back a little bit while Ben's at the table.
Pretty awkward. 55.
$138.
Re-raise from Christianos Androulis with Jack 10.
Does this qualify as pinstripes?
I guess.
Slick, anyway. That's all I want. The point I want to make.
It's a good look.
Yeah.
If you're not going to wear a Bond t-shirt, this is the next best option. 4-bet from Wilanowski.
And we know now that the ace-5 4-bet is something that's part of the 2020 arsenal. Folks a little more inclined to do it when it's suited, but this is right out of the modern playbook.
Game of chicken.
I'm not a chicken, you're a turkey.
Say my first rodeo, kid.
2.4 million now for Wilanowski.
First hand I tried to play. Oh my god.
And Androulis down to 1.5 million. And at the outer tables, it's Fabrice Soulier against Thomas Trabulsi. 10s versus jacks, and a 10 on the flop. And Trabulsi will double up through Fabrice.
TV table, maybe he's lost his magic powers. Oh.
Poker is fun.
Oh, he's not out. Sorry, I thought he was like on the rail. He was just visiting the rail. Like in Monopoly. There's just visiting and there's in jail.
I think he's now a short stack though.
I saw big hand and I still free bet. That doesn't make much sense,
that was
right?
a big bad decision on your part.
Yeah. Kind of see a big hand and free bet anyways.
I was dynamic now. Can't do nothing about it.
Ace Queen for Wilanowski opens to 55,000. Ace 6 for Joep van den Bijgaard folds. Ace 9 for Darren Kramer. Now it is Gerardo Muro all in with jacks.
Good call.
And we're off to the races.
Here we go.
Good luck.
Like Pirates of the Caribbean, Stranger Tides versus Transformers, Dark Side of the Moon. One of these two things from 2011 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Wilanowski can hit an ace, queen, or jack on the river. It's Greenstein time. And Gerardo Muro is KO'd in 23rd place.
Even though you wanted me to lose that one, I still wish you good luck.
We've got going on at this table.
Uh-oh, Loudbinger.
Luis Jaeckel all in on a queen 10-7 flop. Alessandro Laubinger with the decision.
Holy.
Good fold. Das hatte ich doch.
I think so.
It's
I didn't even see the hand.
It's the day of the Jekyll as he gets that shove through.
That's what I was looking for.
"22 players remaining on the penultimate day of this main event."
Daniel Padune. Weird random shot there.
And Drulis raising the button with 7-6. Darren Kramer in the big blind has King 8.
Hey Kramer, where's George?
Tens, yeah. Should be.
Where's Lomez?
Check.
Did you fly over here with Bob Sacramento?
And he's 7-5 and Drulis flops best. That's 41,000.
How much?
41.
Kramer. You old son of a gun. I like this. None of us knew Kramer was going to get so out of line. Then he pulled off that 10-3 hand. It's just been nothing but teeth and elbows ever since.
17.
And Drulis, well, just this sort of conversation he's had with Wilanowski says to me, like, you just don't want to get into one of these raising wars with him. Oh, this is lovely. This is lovely.
Of all the ways I thought you might describe this, that is not one of the top options.
Do you know that when I first started doing the big game, they wouldn't let me use the phrase button clicker because we had to pretend like online poker didn't exist?
Yeah,
we got some real button clicking going on here.
Oh yeah, for show.
Kyle says, Kramer knows people are filming this, right? Finally. I don't know why I was rooting for Kramer there.
I just think you could be good enough to do that.
Quick question, Joe.
Yeah.
If you weren't allowed to mention or acknowledge the existence of online poker on the big game, how did you explain the qualifier?
I do think.
Okay, that's awesome.
Well, they all qualified on .net.
But that's still acknowledging that there is such a thing as online poker.
So we
you can click buttons on PokerStars.net.
Believe me, I had little say, and my voice was not listened to. I don't know what to say. Not all of it made sense. Basically, everyone was on pins and needles, and because it was a show that was sold market to market, they didn't want to do anything that could potentially cause a market to drop it.
No, I can understand. And how many markets dropped it after the first week?
One.
Really? I thought it would be more.
Utah.
Story checks out. Wilanowski is raised with 8-7 of clubs, and Drulis is 3-bet with 10-6 of spades. Action now on Kramer with ace-queen of diamonds.
This is just so silly.
Some of
so
these
willy.
hands are very 2011. I do think we are very much midway through the era of unnecessary, massive pre-flop raising wars and people getting carried away with hands that are utter garbage.
I'm surprised it's taken this long over the last 2 days to have one of these tables. Do you think they were playing like this at the other table before it was the feature table, or they just like turned this on for television?
I think it's probably exaggerated when the cameras are around.
Yeah.
But no, I think this is very much the style of the time. I mean, obviously not faulting Ben Wolonovsky for playing too pair aggressively, but the pre-flop action was...
Everything before that.
Frisky, shall we say. We'll call it
a little
frisky.
OOL.
There's Fabrice Soulier in a hand against Mikhail Lakitov. It's 8 against A7. Fabrice open to 62,000. Lakitov has 3-bet to 125,000. Fabrice has had enough. Shove him with the snowmans. Num num. Did Lakitov say call?
Yeah, Lakitov calls it off.
Ooh. I mean, I know Fabrice is looking a little bit frustrated, but I still think calling with A7 there is questionable. And Fabrice has got the added power of Laubinger's lucky necklace.
I would be like, get that out of my pot.
No way Lakitov hits an ace here. No chance that was coming. Fabrice Soulier doubles up. Back up to 952,000.
He's like, I love you again. Now that I want a pot, I love you again.
Aggressive fold.
Ace deuce for Jeffrey Hakeem.
He's goalkeeping.
Jeffrow.
We've lost Mario Adinolfi in 22nd place, so down to 21 now.
You guys could learn a thing or two from me. Watch this. Watch that.
Ben Wolonovsky folds for the first time in forever.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that at this table.
65.
And Drulis raises small to big with ace deuce. And the Bygot's got king queen.
Just never show me
I mean, what is happening here?
Nick, you want to come second?
I go.
That's a conscious decision he's making, right? Like, I'm not laughing at a guy with a tick.
I think it's conscious.
Okay. I was like looking at our little chat to make sure you weren't furiously being like, he has a condition, stop laughing.
Wasn't that long ago that you and I were streaming Joop van den Bygart winning a W Coupe title.
Yeah.
Papa Rook, his online handle.
Papa Rock, yeah. Kind of a legend, honestly.
35,000 apiece. And this is all van den Bygart.
I go.
You win.
Drulis bets 160K on the river, gets called.
Sick trap.
Agreed. Well played.
To the outer tables where Enrique Pino is all in with king queen against Max Heinzelman's fives.
Flipping.
King queen or 10 needed.
Yeah.
Nope, the board pairs and Enrique Pino is eliminated in 20th place. What's happening here? Laubinger all in with ace 10. versus Vadim Kurzovic. Laubinger with ace-10, Kurzovic with king-jack. And it's a king-jack-5 flop. Laubinger needs a 4, a queen rather. Now an ace-queen or 10 will do it.
Oh, that's a lot of outs.
Deuce on the river, Laubinger out. One-time chip leader, 19th place finisher, 20,000 euros. And he seems distraught, devastated.
I think for certain people, someone like me, when I go broke from my I'm like, yep, that's what we expected. I'm surprised it lasted this long. Somebody like him literally can't fathom not winning the tournament.
Oh, man. He's in tears.
Was he actually crying?
He was actually crying.
Oh, you hate to see it.
Ben Wolinovsky, chip leader right now. Konstantin Puchkov and Thomas Trabulsi, the two shortest stacks with 18 players remaining.
What is that lump?
61. So eager to put the chips in, right?
Now would be a bad time to get out of line.
Wolinovsky opening with aces. Round to Daniel Pidun in the big blind, and he's got snowmans. Num num.
They about to get melted. DP, D to the P, Danny P, Deep Padoon. Deep Padoon and Deep Doo-Doo.
7-4-4 on the flop. Aces huge favorite.
Terrible situation having an overpair here.
Yeah.
Huh.
How much is it?
110.
1-2. What do you have?
King 4 suited.
Might be a good fold.
Oh, this board is not doing Daniel any favors. I don't think there's a river card that can even... I mean, there's obviously the 8 can save him, but I don't think any cards...
Yeah.
...can even make him fold to a reasonable river bet.
300,000 was the bet on the turn, and an inconsequential river card. How much value can Wolinovsky extract on the river as Pidun checks to him?
I think Ben's going to have a pretty good idea of the range Daniel has. Something between a 7, 8s, 9s, 10s, something like that. It's not going to have a lot of 4s, and you can tell because Ben's just not going to check this back. And, you know, we've seen Wolinovsky get wild. I don't know how well Pidun knows that, but it's not inconceivable that Ben would blast off here with no pair.
Gone pretty much full pot here, 900,000.
And this is polarizing. This is a similar bet that Ben would make with an air ball. Do I think he's going to have an air ball here that often? No. But sometimes, yes.
Yeah, I don't blame Pidun for making this call, especially if he knows Wolinovsky's rep.
Yeah.
But that is a huge pot. 2.78 million shipped in the direction of chip leader Ben Wolinovsky. And you see a tale of two worms. Wolinovsky up to 5.7 million as Pidun drops down to 641k, a below average stack now.
It's an easy game when you keep making the nuts.
Out of table action. Max Heinzelman with 10s. Martin Jakobsen, the other player in the hand.
Not really sure how the action went, but it seems like either a check or a value bet are fine here.
145,000.
Cool. Showdown.
Jakobsen calls, Heinzelman shows, and Martin mucks. Heinzelman wins that pot. And we're about to come back to the feature table, Joe, for one of the most famous hands in European Poker Tour history. So a reminder, if you know what happens, if you know the outcome, keep it to yourselves. No spoilers, please. There'll be people seeing this for the first time, and I don't want them to miss out on this treat.
I'm worried. I mean, it's kind of going to be like the worst case scenario. I'm not going to make to high roller, and I'm going to bust before the final here. And those, at least, I run good.
So the blind's 15-30. Jeffrey Hakeem opening from the cutoff with Queen, Jack of clubs. Pocket aces again for Ben Wilanowski.
Oh, man.
760.
Jeffrey Hakeem is in big, big trouble. Is that just a call?
Yeah, flats on the button.
Slightly out of the ordinary, but I think you do have to do it sometimes. Especially if you know folks to your left are likely to put in more bets. He's got on Julius to his left. He's got Van de Bijgaard, two aggressive players. And look, Van de Bijgaard's going to try to pick up the dead money. One mistake I would say here is thinking, oh, he just calls. Very good. Okay, excuse me. He did not raise. Love the call. I don't think he should expect to get many folds for Wilanowski.
And here's the flop, Joe. Top set for Wilanowski. Top 2 for Van den Bijgaard. Flush draw for Jeffrey Hakeem.
This dealer's just like, I hate you.
Hakeem happy to continue into 2 opponents here with his draw. 93,000.
1, 2, 3.
93.
I'm so bad at this.
How do you play this?
193.
193.
Raises.
Makes it 193,000. Question
would
is,
be...
what do you do if you're Joop van den Bijgaard?
I have no idea. I mean, I guess you probably just flat, right? Because the only thing that's going to give you action when you 3-bet are sets.
Well, he re-raises to 530,000 with just 1% equity. Jeffrey Hakeem folds his club draw pretty quickly.
Come on.
And Wilanowski moves all in. So now Van den Bijgaard finds himself in a position where it's all into call with top 2.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
How much of his stack did he commit with that raise?
He's got 900 behind. So a decent chunk.
I guess my question is, how much are you left with if you fold? I don't really see how you can fold to Ben Wilanowski. Everyone's just playing, just flailing wildly.
Such a big hand, but I can beat anything.
Wow. He's right about that.
Can have aces. Can have aces. Nice. That's so sick.
I love that he's given it this much thought.
The first time ever that I don't really know what to do and I don't have a good plan.
I do that to people.
I guess. I hate myself. You would show if I fold?
9 years later.
talking all the time, and now you're saying, don't say anything. Oh.
I'm just not going to answer that question.
No, I know.
Makes you feel better, though. I don't hate you.
I'm sorry?
I don't hate you. You said you hated yourself. I kind of like it.
I don't like myself.
You know, Ben's just so dangerous, too, because people only usually talk this much when they have it, but he seems to talk whether he does or he doesn't.
Makes the lay down,
Nice
folds,
fold,
top
yes.
2.
I was rooting for the fold.
Leaves himself with 911,000.
Wow.
Ben Wilanowski now has more than 6.5 million.
And ruin a great hand with this
played a lot of
garbage.
hands. I think the key thing to take away here, more than anything, is just that stat. He's 15-2 on the day. Whether he's playing 8-6, whether he's playing ace-10, aces, ace-4.
I mean, look, there's not a lot of hands in there that are not great. I think it makes Youp's fold even more impressive, though, given how active Ben is.
Konstantin Puchkov at risk. He's run 8s into aces.
It's gut check time. 2-3 for a chop. Puchkov punched out.
Well, with Puchkov going out in 17th place, they will be down to the final 2 tables.
Ooh.
And I guess we're going to see all 16 players. Wilanowski, #1 on the leaderboard. Other big stacks, Heinzelman, Kurzovic, and Fabrice Soulier. Joop van den Bijgaard's in the second half of the leaderboard, along with Martin Jakobsen. Thomas Trabulsi still the short stack with 345k.
Soulier still kicking. Facing a 3-bet. We know he doesn't fold the 3-bets very often.
Bet of 300,000 from Jorge Mariano. And Fabrice folds. So back to the main feature table.
Unbelievable.
Come on, Joop. I'm rooting for a Joop comeback after that fantastic fold. You can't make that fold if you believe in blockers. All right, so we got Meta raising 80,000 with Queen 6 suited on the button. Wilanowski, Ace 5 in the big blind. Does he keep up that aggro rep? Chris writes in to say, life must be boring if they comment on vintage poker. Life must be boring if you banned. Thank you for your comment. So Meta flops the best hand here. Catches that 6. Wilanowski facing a C-bet of 95,000 now. I don't really expect him to just give up. That doesn't happen. Man, that's a raise at 235,000. Such a crazy aggro image, but like, what's he just raising with here?
Yeah, you can't really blame Armin Meta for folding that.
Wow.
Let's make it 235. Perfect. Yeah, that was the number I was going for.
And Drulis all in with threes and racing against Martin Jakobsen's ace-queen. Aces, queens, and jacks, the cards that Martin needs. Well, add additional outs. 16 cards he can hit, and it's a queen on the river. And that will see Christianos Androulis eliminated in 12th place. And I think it was the worst case scenario. He was a short stack for a while, whining about the fact that he was going to miss late registration in the high roller as well.
There you go.
And Martin Jakobsen,
did he get moved and then go broke immediately? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think he got balanced off the feature table and then promptly went out afterwards. So, are we down to 11 now?
I'm a biggie, right?
I think so.
Wait, they expect us to play this hand from Ben Wilanowski's whack perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck, Joe. We're all counting on you. So, Darren Kramer opening under the gun. Remember, we will not see his whole cards. We're playing the hand from Wilanowski's perspective.
What kind of level are you on right now?
Yeah, I'd like to know the answer to that question as well. He's on Wookiee level.
What should you start the hand with?
1.2.
All right, so this is a hand we're definitely not folding. I'd 3-bet certain players from certain positions. Against Kramer, who showed himself to be kind of a bit of, what do they call it, a blaster. I'm just going to sort of play this for its intrinsic value. Top pair, good kicker, check to the razor. Okay. Look, this is probably a better way to play it, right? Like, just bet and get raised.
It's just the way you said it. Okay.
You know, if you know this is a guy that's just like going to get...
That's 150.
Go. Yeah, see? Great job. That's why I don't have the heart for these games. This is exactly what you want when you play it this way. Now, I think if Ben's going to play it like this, he just flats.
Yeah.
And then check calls the turn.
There's the call from Wilanowski, and it's the 7 of hearts on the turn.
Pretty great turn card. Yep, okay. 775 out there.
$255,000.
I actually almost called that exactly. 250,000 was my guess that this bet was going to be. And there's not a whole lot to protect against, so I think you can just flat again.
How much do you have behind?
920 before bet.
Before the bet?
Yes. 730 more.
Fold.
And I think, what do you say? Fold? Holy what?
Solid read, Ben Wilanowski. Darren Kramer with a set of 5s.
What in the world?
Such a noob at this stuff.
No, you're a freaking genius is what you are. Oh my goodness.
Few good sweat with hands in this event, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm like 0 for 3.
Meanwhile, we have an all-in here. Vadim Kurzovic shoves with ace-king. Fabrice Soulier is the at-risk player, though. Does have a straight draw and a flush draw. 14 outs for Fabrice.
Flipping. Post-flop flip.
Queen of diamonds is the turn.
Kurzovic's hand holding. Fabrice
Let's see the river card.
looking
It's a choice.
for help on the river, does not receive it, and that will see former chip leader Fabrice Soulier eliminated in 11th place. He cashes for 36,000 euros.
It was fun. It was a fun ride, Fabrice. Thanks for the lulls.
So it looks like we're actually down to the final 9 now, Joe. Wilanowski and Heinzelman, the 2 big stacks with more than 5 million. This is the official final table bubble with 9 players remaining. The final 8 will come back for the 5th and final day of this EPT main event and compete for that first prize of 825,000 euros. Pocket aces for Darren Kramer.
Giddy up.
Raised to 145,000.
So what should you start with?
1.8.
Where's that read now?
Ben is re-raising.
Thank you.
Jonas pass. Max pass.
Wilanowski has picked a bad time. It's a 3-bet.
And the big blind pass.
And I guess one of the good things about 3-betting this is if you get 4-bet, you can just let it go.
Oh yeah, good point, well made.
Raise. Make it 685.
685,000, the 4-bet from Kramer. And a pretty committing 4-bet.
5,000. And Ben pass.
Look at Ben speaking European with his pass.
I like people who say pass because it sounds less like all in or call, which unfortunately when muttered or mumbled fold can be confused for one of those 2 other.
So close.
Yeah.
Darren pass.
Oh, aces again, this time for Armin Mehta.
Doesn't get much better than pocket aces for Armin Mehta.
Armin is raising to 105,000. You pass.
Shrati asks, how many aces in this pack? 4. Thank you for your question.
Max pass.
Round to Daniel Pidden, who's got queen, pocket queens.
Oh, Daniel. Think he's faking this consternation, or he knows he's up against aces?
375.
A re-raise from Daniel.
And he raises, gets a fold from Martin Jakobsen in the big blind. Back on Mehta.
Don't worry, Daniel. You don't have to fake it. You're going to get action. That's the good news.
I'm all in.
I call.
All in and a call, and this could be the moment when we get down to the final table. Daniel Pidden, the at-risk player, and a 4-1 dog. Thomas, get over here. We got an all in.
Okay. Oh. Nope. No hope. None whatsoever.
1 out. Queen of Hearts no longer an option.
3 of hearts, 6 of hearts.
Oh, so brutal, but it does give him outs.
Oh, wow.
With the set of queens, if the board pairs, he survives.
Oh, wow.
But it's the king of hearts. It's an ace-high flush for Armin Mehta, and it's the elimination of Daniel Pidden in 9th place, cashing for 45,000 euros. We're down to the final 8. The players will return to the final table, headlined by Ben Wilanowski.
James, I guess Daniel Pidden will never win EPT Berlin.
Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. Let's just highlight the guys who are going to be coming back to play at that final table. Yes, that of course is the key coda to that story, is that 2 years later in 2013, Daniel Padun would actually be the champion of EPT Berlin, but he's going no further in the 2011 main event. And that's where we are in this edition of EPT Retro. We are in April of 2011. We are covering the Berlin leg of Season 7 of the European Poker Tour. It was played from the 5th to the 10th of April 2011 at the Spielbank Berlin. It started with 773 players. We're down to the final 8. They are competing for a first prize of 825,000 euros. Now, something that Joe and I are used to now, because it's happened a lot during this run of streams where we've gone back and looked at these EPT shows, is we see faces that not only do we not see on the tour anymore, but we see the faces of players who are no longer with us. And during seasons 4 and 5, we saw a lot of Johannes Strassmann, a young German player who sadly passed away a few years ago. And we have another player at this final table who sadly died in recent years. And that player is Max Heinzelmann. I believe Max was only 20 years old at this final table in Berlin. And Max was only 26 when he died back in 2017. And I think Max suffered from a number of health issues despite his young age, and he passed away in his sleep at the age of 26. So I think the key thing for us is to remember him as the great player he was and relive one of his finest moments, which is his deep run in this event and his performance at the Berlin leg of this season of the EPT. So here we go with the final table, playing down to a winner, playing to an EPT title holder.
And let's celebrate Max.
It's taken me 2 years to get a cash. Come on. We're going to make this a good after party, whatever happens.
So Ben Wilanowski has secured his first EPT cash, and it will be at least 66,000 euros. Martin Jakobsen has 2 second-place finishes this season and is looking for either a third second or maybe a win this time.
Also could potentially finish 8th through 3rd. We really don't know. I don't know.
Ben Wilanowski on the button. Has pocket 5s. Raises to 125,000. It's Max Heinzelmann in the big blind with ace-10 of hearts.
Super good defending hand. Very strong against Ben's opening range on the button. Not so strong now.
Wilanowski continues to be dealt monsters and flop monsters. And with his set, he'll continue for 2 after-dinner mints. 200,000.
Raise to 500.
Heinzelmann check raises to 560k.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that a raise is part of the current playbook with this hand. I think a call is fine. I think a lot of folks are going to call, maybe try to pick up a straight card or a heart.
Oh, that is a bad card for him as he pairs his ace.
Not good at all.
So took the betting lead on the flop, and now he has 0% equity, barrels for 725,000.
Ben call.
725.
Yep.
We saw Wilanowski just snap get away from a set of 5s on the turn. I'm not sure Heinzelman is going to be able to fold at any point.
Does not, however, bet again
How much are you playing, Max?
on the river. Wilinovsky wants to know what he's got left.
Little over 3 million.
1.7 million.
Ben bets 1,700,000.
And Wilinovsky just really great instincts, great assessment of the strength of his hand relative to his opponents. Goes for a pretty big sizing here. Perfectly sized, in my opinion, to get called by top pair. Not to say that it will get called.
What a hand to start the final table. And there is the call from Heinzelman. Loses with top pair to a set. And Wilinovsky is going to extend his chip lead at this final table.
Thank you.
Just absolutely perfect. Flops the set. Opponent catches up as much as possible.
Heinzelman down to 1.7 million. Wilinovsky up over 9 million. They were the two biggest stacks.
Your parents both have extremely curly hair?
No, that's...
Was your father perhaps a poodle?
Not even, I don't know. Maybe, who knows?
Finally got a smile out of someone at this table, thank God.
That was quite, I mean, that's quite an abstract comment.
That's the way we just cut into that conversation. Was your father a poodle?
I mean, was he father a poodle?
Most of my hands are dogs.
Wilinovsky back in action, raising with ace-8. Vadim Kurzovic, queen 10 of diamonds. Ben Wilinovsky complaining about trying to get smiles out of people. Pretty sure he's not going to succeed with Kurzovic.
It's also tough for the guy with all of the chips playing brilliantly to be like, hey guys, are we having fun? Isn't this fun for... No, it's not. You're killing us. We're getting smashed. Okay, maybe now.
It's 175.
175,000.
Kurzovic with two pair. Calls the 175, taking this hand to the turn.
$800,000.
Wilinovsky not slowing down, just has ace high. Gut shot straight draw. The river is the jack. How good is Ben Wilinovsky running? That said, with the 4 cards straight out there, tough to see how Kurzovic is going to pay off a river bet with 2 pair.
1.3 million.
Especially for that amount. Kurzovic knows he's losing to any ace. And wisely folds. Called 2 streets when he was ahead, folded when he went behind. Fair play. Meanwhile, Ben Wilinovsky moves over the 10 million mark seemingly unstoppable at this final table. We rejoin the action where we have an all-in Jonas Gutek, the at-risk player, with Jack-9 running into the kings of Max Heinzelman, and it's a king-high flop. However, Gutek has a good shot.
All right, leave those to me, will you?
Hard to come back from that. For Jonas Gutek, I'm afraid this is hashtag death by quads. Out in 8th place, cashing for 66K.
King Kong, how about Quadzilla?
100 rebuy because you would have called like 3.4 on the river for sure.
Curling Master says, I found the name pun made by James refreshing. And you banned.
Max Heinzelman with King-9 raises the button. It's Vadim Kurzovic in the big blind, who has a dominating king, King-Jack.
Feels about right for King Jack. Oh, the power of position. Does anybody ever just fold this? No, does not. Am I the only one?
Okay, Kurzovic pairs his jack on the turn. Heinzelman fires again, 245,000.
Good for him, keeping his foot on the gas. But if Kurzovic didn't fold flop, he's probably not folding turn. I say that with the benefit of the whole cards. I don't mean that Heinzelman should know that.
Well, at least this time Kurzovic can't get done on the river. Checks a third time. Is Heinzelman going to shut down?
This is one of my favorite situations where I can see the hold cards and I don't even know if a third barrel will work.
$480,000, almost half pot.
I do not know if this will work.
It does work.
Nice.
Kurzovic folds the best hand. And Heinzelman chips up to $2.5 million. Okay, what happens over the next 10 hands? Wilanowski extends his chip lead. Darren Kramer becomes the short stack. Cards are dealt.
Soft lighting is had.
Chips move. Armin Mehta second on the leaderboard.
Who gets schlugged?
No schlugging for now, but two short stacks. Both Darren Kramer and Joop van den Bygart.
Martin Jakobsen feeling a little left out, raising under the gun. Jack 10 suited. It's going to get called by a dominating hand, excuse me.
Interesting. Jack 10-5. Top two against top pair and a flush draw. Practically a coin flip at this stage.
This is the kind of hand that I would want to see in a poker movie. Like, this is legit what's going to happen. This is drama. Here's a fun idea for a poker scene. Maybe you shoot a hand like this and you shoot them peeling their cards, but at the end you reveal that it's actually the hands are reversed.
Huh. All in and a call. And Heinzelman is the at-risk player. Currently behind, but he has 12 outs.
That's plenty.
Heart on the turn. Jakobsen now needs a jack or a 10 for a full house. 3 cards for Heinzelman to fade. He fades them and he doubles up. 3 million chips for Max.
After that huge hand with Ben Wilanowski, desperately needed those back to be a contender in this again.
Yeah, that was a huge blow to him at the start of the day, but seems to be clawing his way back now.
All the chips already. Yeah, as it stands, it's going to take me a couple hours.
That's definitely. Okay, let's see.
I think this tournament is eventually going to go heads up for lulls.
Good call. Good luck.
All in small to big with ace-5. Wilanowski calls with king-jack.
Don't touch me.
We all need it. Don't be silly.
Queen, jack, 3. Second pair for Wilanowski. Joop van den Boogaard looking for an ace. Running spades would work. Or straight cards.
Yeah.
Running king 10.
It's not the 4 of spades, though.
No.
It's all he
no
can
4 of
do.
spades.
Not yet.
Not yet? All right.
It's hair buddies.
And that will see Joop van den Boogaard eliminated in 7th place.
I knew it was you. Still an awful fold.
Yeah, still an awful.
Ben Wilanowski just told him that he had aces in that hand from yesterday. So we're down to 6 players. Everyone guaranteed a 6-figure score. Joe, you get to live a lifelong dream. You get to sweat with Vadim Kurzovic.
You know, it's nice to get in Vadim's head a little bit. I end up doing plenty of commentary on this guy, that's for sure. Raise from the button, fine, like it. Would rather not play against Ben Wilanowski.
Good luck.
Thanks. I don't know, maybe Kurzovic has an image where Ben won't mess with him that much. Hopefully, fingers crossed, question mark. All right, flopping the gut shot. Unfortunately, I guess we gotta continue. Probably just gonna get raised.
2, 3, 5.
Oh, Ben's leading. Not the first time we've seen him do this.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to lead much with a total air ball, but I think any pair here is possible. I don't think he expects to get a lot of folds when he leads either, which leads me to believe that he's going to have something. Like, I just think this is like a lead for straight value.
Okay.
Now
so
we improve.
Kurzovic with a pair of 10s to go with his gut shot straight draw.
All right, yeah. So we improved is probably like the worst way we could have improved because we're not even beating a jack now.
Oh no, please don't bet more of the after dinner mints. 425,000.
And I do think Ben's going to have a fair amount of 10s also. It's a bet that really seems like it wants to be called. I'm actually fine to fold. I guess you can call one more time, and if you make 2 pair, then there's a 4-card straight out there. Trip 10s we kind of like. It's really only the gut shot still that we want.
Well, I really, really hope for Vadim's sake that Wolinovsky just gives up now and checks so that he can take showdown value. Because if Wolinovsky fires a big bet here, what the hell do you do with a pair of tens?
If he fires a small bet, what do you do with a pair of tens?
Well, 975,000 is not small.
No, like a half pot. I wanted to fold the turn. I've been wrong on every sweat with hand, by the way. This is definitely not my era of poker. Everyone's way too aggressive. I'm way too chicken. So I still am going to stick with my gut and say that we just want to fold here. Third pair. We do fold. And, oh, every time. Every time.
Wow. Kurzovic has made some big river folds. One of them was correct. Two of them have been incorrect. And he's down to 3.37 million. Wolinovsky up over 11.5 million. Blinds now 60-120. By the way, I think Darren Kramer's been schlooged.
Oh, is Kramer gone?
Must have happened during a commercial break that's been cut out.
Count, please.
Sorry, Darren Kramer. You got schlooged.
Back to his job at Union Bagel.
2.365. I call.
Like the PlayStation Vita versus this Samsung Galaxy Note. One of these two things from 2011 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Heinzelman flops a set.
So many sets of threes.
97% favorite to double up and survive. And Wolinovsky drawing dead on the turn, so Heinzelman back up to nearly 5 million.
What a yo-yo of a day for Heinzelman, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Blinds are 60,000, 120,000.
Two monsters.
All in.
Uh-oh.
Unbelievable.
Come on.
The reshove, which means Jakobsen will probably fold the fours.
Hi, big skin.
And now it's Armin Mehta flipping for his tournament life.
That's another flip, huh? Like the iPad 2 versus the iPhone 4S. One of these two, yada, 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 2011.
That's a hidden domination. Well, it's a wheel draw for Mehta, but it is top pair for Wolinovsky. It's a tray or a deuce on the river. Instead, for the second time at this final table, it's hashtag death by quads as Armin Mehta is eliminated in 5th place.
Somebody needs to check this RNG. Quads twice.
It's the first all-in pre-flop I've won since I think 2 tables down.
Congrats.
If I start doing that, you guys are in trouble.
I think they're already in trouble.
4 players remaining. Martin Jakobsen and Vadim Kurzovic pretty much tied for last place. Max Heinzelman second in chips. Huge chip advantage for Ben Wolinovski, 12.8 million.
Get him. Get him.
Pocket sixes for Heinzelman on the button.
Hope you're not expecting to make quads.
Raises to 250K. Martin Jakobsen has ace king.
Would you like to flip again?
Yeah.
How much did you start the hand with?
About 2.8.
I'm all in.
Call.
All in and a call. Let's flip the coin.
Like Batman Arkham City versus Skyrim. One of these two things from 2011 has a slight mathematical advantage.
Sixes are holding on a 5-5-3 flop. 6 outs for Martin Jakobsen. Well, spades no longer an option. No ace, no king, it's always coming 7, and Martin Jakobsen is eliminated in 4th place. That's worth nearly €250,000, and it's worth highlighting that in season 7 of the EPT, Martin had 2 second-place finishes and a 4th-place finish here in Berlin.
That was a fast exit. You can tell he's a little tilted. Got to be frustrating.
But
4th in 2 seconds. Like, I would just be on stone monkey tilt.
Don't worry, he's guaranteed to win Player of the Year, right? Oh no, he didn't. Vadim Kurzovic with ace-king in the small blind. $375 with ace-king. Ben Wolinovski in the big blind and all of the chips. Calls. And the ridiculousness continues as Wolinovski flops the straight, as Vadim Kurzovic flops top pair, top kicker.
Kurzovic, more like Kurstovich.
Continues for 450. Wolinovski raises to 1.12 million. Kurzovic does not have that much behind. Around 4 mil. Shoves.
I call.
And gets called. And has 3 outs, the 3 remaining 10s in the deck.
I just admire the composure of not being like, how do you do this, you luck box? You're annoying.
3 outs, 1 chance to hit.
Igor?
Ace on the river, not enough. Vadim Kurzovic eliminated in 3rd place. Cashes for 300K. So it's Max Heinzelman heads up against Ben Wolinovski. Both
Fitting,
guaranteed
given how it started.
€500,000, with the winner getting 825,000. Heinzelman, 7.5 million chips. Ben Wolinovski, better than a 2-to-1 chip advantage, 15.6 million near enough.
Somebody left their mic on. Can you turn that off? The feedback's coming through. These two played that first huge pot against each other when the final table had just started. Here they are at the very end. I love to see it.
Blinds 80,000, 100, and 60,000.
320.
And I don't expect this to be a particularly long heads-up battle. Two very aggressive players.
Yeah.
King 5 versus 8-6. And it's a pair of sixes against a pair of fives.
420.
Got top pair, bro. I ain't going nowhere.
Two pair now for Heinzelman.
Not a horrific run out.
1.2.
Decides to bet 1.2 million on the river. Wilanovsky with a pair of fives.
I think this is a pretty trivial fold. But again, you know, this is a different era, and
call.
It's been probably, yeah, there it is, the most aggressive final table I think we've covered, or overall tournament.
Yeah.
It's 1.2.
So when people are just, you know, playing wild like that, I guess a 5's not an insane call.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
How do you say cheers in German? What do you say when you...
Prost.
Huh?
Prost.
Prost?
Yeah.
It's weird you had to think about it.
So Heinzelman has narrowed the gap. Opens here with Queen 7. Ace 10 for Wilanovsky, who re-raises. Heinzelman gets frisky. 4 bets to 2 million.
How much do you have behind Max?
I mean, with all this pre-flop aggression.
6.8, I think.
I'm all in.
Ace 10 is, yeah, it's aces.
Yeah, Heinzelman forced to fold, so basically gives back everything he won on the last hand and more.
Welcome to the streets, kid. You heard me.
Yeah, I heard you, but English is not my first language.
Okay, so that was hand 169. Let's fast forward. Wow.
Whoa, 40 hands later?
And Wilanovsky has extended his chip lead. It's 18.7 million playing 4.5 million.
You'll get what you deserve and nothing more and nothing less.
It's a heads-up battle that did go on longer than I thought.
Is for you to not get more than you deserve? Yeah, you're right. If you get what you deserve, I'll win.
He's taking this very well.
Logic. 100, 200 blinds.
I'm not sure I would handle this entitlement the same way Max is. Good for him.
7-6 versus 9-8.
Yeah.
And it's an 8-5-3 flop. Top pair for Heinzelman.
25.
Straight draw for Wilanovsky. Heinzelman quickly bets 225.
225.
Raise. 45.
I'm all in.
Raise all in.
Wow.
Fair. Protect.
$1,025,000. That was a quick all-in.
Maybe get value out of a worse pair.
What does a quick all-in mean?
It does often mean a draw, but you're not really
I'm
beating
ahead of
draws
some of the
either.
hands you do this with.
Are you? 4-6?
I think I'm ahead of most of the hands you do this with, actually.
Wait, what? Sorry, what am I reading wrong here?
I call.
Call.
And call.
Wilanovsky calls the all-in
Not
with
ahead
the
of that.
straight draw.
The all-in hand for Max. It's top
Nice
pair,
answer.
pair of 8 with
Thank
a kicker
you.
9. And Ben shows 6-7.
So Heinzman doubles up here.
Open and a straight draw.
He's got around 10 million.
But the 9 on the turn does give Wilanovsky the straight.
That's my usual solution.
Heinzelman with a redraw now to a full house. Needs a 9 or an 8 on the river, or we have a champion here in Berlin.
It's a 9 or 8. And it is a check of hearts.
And it is Ben Wilanovsky who takes down the Berlin leg of Season 7 of the European Poker Tour. His first ever live cash, and it's a win.
God.
For $825K.
There was just no beating him. He had the muscle. Yeah. I'm glad he's got showing a little appreciation there at the end because he did seem slightly entitled before that.
Max Heinzelman, the runner-up for $500K, 825,000 euros for Ben Wilanovsky. And that brings our coverage of EPT 7 Berlin to a conclusion. There is a follow-up on this, though. The next leg of the EPT, Joe, we already referenced the fact that Black Friday happens, but nonetheless, you and I had some TV shows to voice in America, so I didn't get to go to Italy at the end of April to cover EPT San Remo. There was a live stream from that event, but it wasn't televised. So here is my question. EPT San Remo had a huge field. It was won by Rupert Elder for 930,000 euros. Who was the runner-up in EPT San Remo in 2011?
Rupert Elder versus Rupert's Scottish, right?
Yeah, but that's not relevant.
I seem to remember. Sorry, I got nothing.
Max Heinzelman.
Oh.
So just to be clear, we've drawn attention to the fact that Martin Jakobsen had 2 second-place finishes. Max Heinzelman did it in back-to-back EPTs with huge fields. 773 runners in Berlin, 987 runners in San Remo, and he finished second in back-to-back events. Now, obviously, both those results were worth huge amounts of money, 6-figure scores, and yet he was so desolated by not being able to close it out 2 events in a row, he skipped the grand final in Madrid because he couldn't deal with the disappointment. I guess it took him a while to realize that actually the money was really, really nice. And as I said, the sad conclusion to the story is that 3 years ago, Max Heinzelman passed away at the age of 26. But he was a major character in that season of the EPT, as was Martin Jakobsen. But bizarrely, and this is where player of the series, the ranking points metric, I don't know how it works. Neither of those guys won. It was Fernando Brito who won player of the series in season 7. I guess just by playing a ton of side events and putting up a lot of cashes and a lot of big results.
It makes sense. We've seen a lot of that guy, right? He's obviously at every stop putting in the time. Obviously, you'd like folks who go deeper in main events to be weighted a little bit more, but he's not altogether undeserving.
So we have got 2 more events to cover, and they both come from Madrid. We've got the main event in Madrid. That's going to be Monday night stream. On Tuesday, we've got the Tournament of Champions. But I do want you guys to start getting excited about EPT Online. The series starts on Sunday. Our streams start on Wednesday. Really looking forward to bringing the European Poker Tour into the PokerStars arena, bringing it into the virtual world. We've got some exciting stuff planned. Sam Grafton, Griffin Benger, Nick Walsh, Maria Ho, they're going to be part of the on-air team. So that's from Wednesday. But in the meantime, we will see you on Monday for the penultimate edition of EPT Retro. That's at the usual time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. UK time, 7:30 p.m. Central European time. But for now, from Joe Stapleton and me, James Hartigan, it's good night.